Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to your Alpha Live broadcast of round 8 of the 2024 Rally Replay SuperOne Series, coming to you live here at Fulbeck. Apologies there for the drop in service. What we missed there was the tail end of the second heat for Rotax 177, which has been taken by Luke Oliver in changeable conditions. It was raining, then it wasn't, then it was raining, now it isn't again. But as they come in, confirm results available at results.alphatime.co.uk. Click on Super 1 as the cart there gets recovered of the number 49. We're going to look ahead in Junior Max. And then it will be Albert Wilton and Max Rowley to round out the top 10. Callum Ghosh and Archie Flint are on row 6. Row 7 is where we find Rory Hinckley and Max Greatrex. Harry Hurst-Grover and Kieran Denyer are on row 8. Jack Dimbleby and Noah Sales on row number 9. The top 20 is rounded out by Harvey Quick and Oliver Lomax. Lucas Reeves and Lewis Holt are on row 11. Alex McCulloch we expect to see coming back to the track after being involved in that red flag incident later on. I'm just double checking to see if I can see the 53 firing past me at the moment. I will have to double check that later. I didn't see it that time through, but he may be back on the track. That was Archie McCulloch, Archie Dyson alongside on row 12. Then we get to row 13 now on your screen, where Toby Jukes has Freddie Snelling alongside Ben Brock and Sam Flynn on row 14. Harley Sadiq and Karthik Kameta rounding out the top 30. Archie Doherty and Molly Pugh are next. And then it's Theo Gartside and Arthur Frey to round out the 34 carts that are going to contest this one. And I think I have just seen, oh, do you know, I have, yes, I can tell you that Alex McCulloch is out there because he's stationary on the start-finish straight at the moment, off to driver's right. And it goes from bad to worse here for Alex McCulloch's day, and I can see it's not on your screens, but he's out of the cart and will take no further part in that, and that must have been gutting for him, because after being involved in that incident earlier on, he's fought, fought back to come back out onto track, and he's a retirement from the race. Yeah, heart goes out to him there, most certainly. The rest of the field, though, away we go. Riley Bishop leads them away as they head towards the first hairpin here. Not raining at the moment here, but not necessarily entirely dry conditions either. Where's the grip at in these conditions? We've got a little bit of checking up in the middle of the pack, but they all get out of turn number 1, as it is turn 2 for all other laps, all facing the right way. Riley Bishop still at the head of the field, but it looks to me like Ben Horner has gone on up into second place there, ahead of Emily Cotty, as they go 2 wide, even 3 wide. And is there some, that still looks to me like there's rain in the air at that far end of the circuit. I'm just looking out the window. It's not, I'm pretty sure it's not raining where I am. Pretty sure I'm just seeing previous rain dripping off of the roof of the timing building here as they come across to finish the first lap. Riley Bishop leads. Emily Cotty is back up to second place. Jasmine Taylor in third. So, and Owen Keenan down in fourth. That has changed about a bit in the last part of the lap because, sorry, I think I called it as Ben Horner. It was definitely Owen Keenan who was up into second place by the second chicane on that last lap, but not so anymore. Emily Cotty and Jasmine Taylor have both got by. Bishop leads, Cotty in second, Taylor in third, Keenan in fourth, and then it's James Kell in fifth. We're slightly further down the order here with Archie Flint, we just saw, taking the apex of turn 5. Where do you go for the grip here? Goodness gracious me, 2 wide, even 3 wide, and it's absolutely not obvious as there's a spin there far down the order. That is for Archie Dyson there. who went round at the apex of turn 6. There is the 19 going through there. That was Rory Hinckley we saw briefly as they start another lap of this circuit. I'm wondering if we could take a little look further up at the leaders as we're watching a challenge here. I think this Callum Ghosh battling away with the likes of Albert Wilton, Ben Horner, Harris Roberts. Here are your leaders though coming through the chicane. Emily Cotty applying the pressure here to Riley Bishop at the head of the field. Just once again, I will say it's not raining, and I don't think I can see as much rain in the shots there either. So it's not raining at the moment, but it is greasy. Where is the grip in these conditions? We come through the boot section and through this last corner. Good drive through that corner from Emily Cotty. Is she going to have an opportunity? She does look to the inside towards chicane 1, but thinks better of it for now. You can just see, by the way, that cart of Alex McCulloch parked off to the side as they head towards chicane number 1. Wide line from Riley Bishop through hairpin 2, trying to find that grip. Fastest lap of the race from Jasmine Taylor as well, coming up to challenge here. Owen Keenan still staying in touch with them, but with pressure from James Kell and Tom Holden as well. And there is the look from Cotty for the lead. We've got a cart off on driver's left towards the hairpin at turn 2, but that is a great move from Emily Cotty for the lead. Can Bishop fight back? No, he can't. Emily Cotty is through and up into the lead of the race here with a lovely move at turn 6. And frankly, with all of the changeable conditions we've had, and we've not had too many moments like that recently where drivers have felt the confidence to fire one up the inside of turn 6. So a nice move there. Fastest lap of the race from Albert Wilton. Something's happened to James Kell out there. He's dropping right down the order. Maybe that was the cart that we saw. It was the 31. I'm having it confirmed in my ear. That is the cart that was off to driver's left heading into turn 2, which is the corner we just see now. Riley Bishop coming out of, as well as Jasmine Taylor in 3rd place in hot pursuit. Contact warning issued for Callum Ghosh. He'll be looking to avoid any more of that. There is Owen Keenan. Then it's Albert Wilton with the pace at the moment over everybody else. Then you saw Tom Holden and Ben Horner coming through as well. And then there, trying to find the grip, was Harris Roberts on the outside of turn 6. As then was everybody else. I wish I could be more descriptive, but it's changing so often, I fear it would be out of date as soon as I'd uttered it. Coming on then to lap number 6. Emily Cotty with just short of 0.5 of a second in hand now. Starting to find some confidence in these conditions. Sort of grouped off once again into 3s here in terms of the gaps. You've got the Cotty, Bishop, Taylor pack at the front. Then you've got Keenan, Wilton and Holden. And then you've got Horner, Roberts and Rowley, sort of all near or near enough. Saw Cotty take a couple of heat wins last time we were broadcasting, actually, at Clay Pigeon. And there we go. The rain's back again, everybody. You can see it on the shot there. So once again, the conditions are going to change here as Harvey Quick has a look there. Max Rowley, I believe that is, coming through the latter part of the lap. Battles everywhere you look at the moment as everyone's just trying to work out their way around these conditions. I'm sure I saw rain on the shots in the latter part of the lap. I think it's raining at one end of the circuit and dry at the other, frankly. If it is, it's a very fine mist at the moment. Cotty starting to stretch out a bit of a gap here, though. And is that Jasmine Taylor down the inside? It is on Riley Bishop from a long way back. That's a bold move from Taylor. Can she find the grip? And in a very similar way to which we saw Emily Cotty go through, Jasmine Taylor puts in the move at 6, and Riley Bishop can't fight back afterwards towards 7. And that is Jasmine Taylor now up into 2nd place. 2 more laps left of this one. And how's Owen Keenan fancying his chances? Because he's not too far off the back. In fact, No, not being too far off the back. He's all over the back here of Riley Bishop. He's going to look to the inside of turn 2, but what's the grip going to be like when you do so? And meanwhile, Riley Bishop now under pressure from Albert Wilton, who's had really impressive pace all the way through this one in that 96 kart. They're side by side towards the chicane, but Riley Bishop is able to hold on to that position at least. But Owen Keenan is now up into 3rd place in that number 29 kart. Attack here from Wilton into turn number 6. And he's through again. Riley Bishop, I think, is perhaps struggling a little bit in that section of the lap, where he's leaving himself too open to attack. Easy for me to say from the comfortable confines of a comms box. Final lap board out then for Emily Cotty. And Jasmine Taylor, though, right with her. Oh, sorry, not right with her. There's a gap of 1.3 seconds. We're looking at the 2nd place battle here, which is Jasmine Taylor under the pressure of Owen Keenan, of course. Heading down towards chicane 2 now. Albert Wilton right with them as well, and he's had great pace throughout this race. Although that was a moment for him, though. Clattered over the curbs there, and he's dropped right back there, back into the clutches of Riley Bishop. Now, can Bishop have a move in turn 6, where he's otherwise been passed several times? No, he doesn't have the confidence there. Emily Cotty, though, still has plenty of a gap here. She just needs to nurse it around these last few corners, as alongside Taylor goes Keenan. Keenan's going to battle for 2nd place, but Emily Cotty, and he's got it, but Emily Cotty's going to take the win for Heat 2 in Junior Max. Owen Keenan finishes 2nd. Jasmine Taylor in 3rd, Albert Wilton in 4th, Riley Bishop in 5th, Tom Holden in 6th, Harris Roberts then in 7th, and gets the fastest lap to boot on the last lap there. Ben Horner in 8th, ahead of Archie Flint and Max Rowley to round out the top 10. Then it was Harvey Quick, Jack Dimbleby, Ben Brock in 13th, ahead of Rory Hinkley in 14th, Max Greytrix in 15th, ahead of Harry Hurst Grover, Harney Sadiq in 17th, 18th for Callum Ghosh, 19th for Kieran Denyer, and Archie Doherty in 20th. We'll have to wrap it up there. Full confirmed result will be at results.alphatime.co.uk and click on Super One. But well done to Emily Cotty, another victor in these challenging conditions here at Fulbeck. And next up, we are going to have more racing action. Who knows what the weather will do, but we'll be here to talk you through it and show it all to you. It's going to be Intermax for their Heat 2 coming up next here at Fulbeck. Intermax getting ready then for their 2nd heat of the day. As we're waiting for a kart to be recovered there, it's Alex McCulloch's number 53 kart. He's had a tough day so far. Hopefully we'll see him come back for the finals though. Let's take a look at the grid for Intermax Heat 2. Oscar Roach will take this one away from pole position with Jensen Sale alongside JJ Plowman and Noah Moulton are the 2nd row of the grid. Jensen Walker and Jack Holmes make up row number 3. Row 4 is where we'll find Stanley Stafford and Jackson Hilton. Amrit Singh Atwal and Jay Birmingham round out the top 10 on row 5. Layla Bell and Alexander Adams are next on row number 6. Then it's Charlie Hobbs and Luca Matakekia, and William Collinson and Lewis Hall round out your 16 kart grid for Intermax. Drivers aged between 8 and 13, if you're wondering. It has to be the year of your 9th birthday to be clear, but forming that interim stage between Micromax and Junior Max is where you find Intermax. And here they are, ready on the dummy grid, the dummy grid, to come out onto the circuit here at Fulbeck, and it's not raining now. It's actually looking quite nice out my window now. Although I will say it's perhaps a tale of two halves of the circuit here, because when I look out one way to the west, I'm seeing blue skies and fluffy clouds, and when I look out to the east, I'm seeing greyness and much more overcast scenes, which is what you see from this camera. But to be fair, I think the weather front is travelling easterly, so I think we're going to get the blue skies and fluffy clouds. Do excuse me, folks. It's all right. It's not like I'm here to do the talking, right? So we'll get, I think, decent weather for this one, but I don't think the drivers are taking any chances. I think I'm seeing all tyres spec'd for wet conditions there, by the looks of it. And I can see the rationale of that, because it's not necessarily the case that the greasy conditions have gone. So why take the chance would be the rationale. See, you could just see it there. That patch of blue off to the left. It's there, honest. As the drivers are on their formation lap. The number 96 there on driver's right is Oscar Roach, and that's a spin for JJ Plowman, who I'm sure will be grateful that I pointed out who it was to everybody then. But managed to recover it quickly. But I think that may mean that he has to line up out of position. Should be costly for him. Indeed, he's there on the penultimate part of the grid now. Here we go then, 7 minutes plus a lap. Oscar Roach leads them away in the number 96. Looks like a decent start from Jensen Walker now, who has an opportunity by the fact that JJ Plowman had issues on the formation lap, but he goes very wide, does the 21 of Walker, manages to get the turn in the latter part of the corner, but he lost out a little bit from an initial good getaway, but there's been a change at the front, it looks to me. That is not Oscar Roach in the lead, and that's not Oscar Roach in second. He's down to third place, and there is the battle for the lead between Noah Moulton, and he's swooping through. There goes Jack Holmes into the lead. What a start from Jack Holmes in the number 36. Moulton was leading down and through the first, well, I say the first chicane, it's the first chicane they encountered because they missed the first chicane out on the first lap. But chicane 2, Noah Moulton was leading for the first half of that lap, but that was an amazing move through turn 5 from Jack Holmes. He's clearly got some confidence under him there. As they come round then at the end of lap number 1, that is a fantastic start from Jack Holmes, but Noah Moulton's got him back through chicane 1. Look, the 54 back ahead, but Jack Holmes is going to try and tuck underneath out of turn 2. Where's the grip at this point in time? We've really no idea. Better drive off the corner from Noah Moulton, having taken that wider line, so there's clearly something to be said for the slightly wetter line through that hairpin at the moment. Moulton stays ahead. This is where Jack Holmes had so much confidence a lap ago. He's got to be careful, though, because Jensen Sale is right with him as well. Through turn 6 they go. Noah Moulton still voting for the outer wet line, if you like, and it's paid off there because he's had a decent final sector here. And indeed has a few kart lengths in hand over Jack Holmes now. Change from the lead confirmed then. Noah Moulton to the head of the field. Jack Holmes in second. Jensen Sale half in attack, half in defence here at the moment between Holmes and Oscar Roach, who's behind him. Sale taking that wide entry there to get better drive off the corner. Oscar Roach right behind him. Stanley Stafford is the next down the order, and he's right with them now as well, as Roach has a look down the inside of chicane number 2 and gets the job done. That is Roach past Sale. Nice little move there for the driver of the number 96. Gets through there. Stanley Stafford with them as well. Roach, Sale, now third and fourth. Stanley Stafford in that 43. As they come round to finish this lap. Don't worry too much about Stafford. There you go. Stanley Stafford, as he had earlier in Heat 1, has a slight transponder issue, which means it's a little slow just to register him. So you'll see him perhaps drop down the timing tower and then fire back up again. I'm hearing there's a similar situation for Layla Bell in the number 33 as well. So just, if you do see them tumbling down the timings, either on the timing tower on the left-hand side, or if you're following at live.alphatiming.co.uk, just take it with a pinch of salt for a moment and see if it corrects itself on the system. Jensen Sale having a look up the inside now, as that is Stanley Stafford having a go at him, and Stanley Stafford is through on Jensen Sale, as meanwhile Oscar Roach is putting pressure on Jack Holmes now for second place. So it's Moulton, Holmes, Roach, Stafford and Sale, your top 5 now. As we're passing the halfway point now in this second heat. Last opportunity for these drivers in Intermax to maximise their position for the trophy final. We've got just one more heat race after this, that being the Heat 2 race of Senior Max before we get into the trophy finals. Jack Holmes trying to detect where the threat's coming from ahead of chicane number 2 here. Managed to hold them off for now. Oscar Roach, can he find an attack? Oh, Stanley Stafford can, down the inside of turn 6. He likes that move and he's made it work, but there's contact with Jack Holmes. And how does that affect them off the corner? He's managed to stay ahead. Oscar Roach, though, was able to get past Jack Holmes as well in all of that ruckus. And so it is now Stanley Stafford in second, ahead of Oscar Roach in third, and Jack Holmes in fourth as they come round to finish lap number 5. Jensen Sale had a little look to the inside there on Jack Holmes, as Noah Moulton out front sets the fastest lap of the race. 1.5 seconds the gap that he has in hand over the battling that we've been watching, in part because of the battling that we've been watching. Through turn 5 come the leaders of this one. I don't think that's rain. I think it was just water dripping from the lens of the camera coming into shot. Oh, good drive from Jensen Sale through that that section of the lap in his pursuit of Jack Holmes. Stays as they were for now. Noah Moulton leads. Oscar Roach. No, sorry, that's the transponder issue on Stanley Stafford catching me out. Stanley Stafford still there in second place. Oscar Roach there in third. You can see him in the 96 with the pink helmet there. And then here is Jack Holmes, Jensen Sale. And does that look like rain to me on that camera shot? That looked to me like rain. And it is raining again. Of course it is. It's round 8 here at Fulbeck, and we seem to constantly be on and off with the rain. So the challenge resumes for these drivers, and fair play to them for making the right call with the tyres in case this happened. Might have a set of very paranoid drivers at the end of this with the way the weather's treating them. And look at it coming down all of a sudden. You compare this to a lap ago, there was nothing on shot. It's really sudden. We've got a very binary wet rain system here in South Lincolnshire, it would seem. Right, how does this affect the last few stages of this race? You can see JJ Plowman, by the way, coming back into things here. That's a twitch on the exit curb there for Oscar Roach. It's going to open the door for Jack Holmes in the 36. If he can find the grip, can he find the grip? There's a slight slide on the rear, but he's been able to get the drive there. Will Oscar Roach come back at him into chicane 2? He's going to have to be bold because every corner is a bit of a guessing game at the moment. But that is Oscar Roach back through on Jack Holmes. The pink lid of Oscar Roach back past the white helmeted Jack Holmes. There's Jensen Sale going to go up the inside. He is going to go up the inside, and he's going to disrupt both of them there. But where's the grip at now as they head towards turn 7? Jensen Sale has got through on both Oscar Roach and Jack Holmes. And now JJ Plowman arrives on the scene in the number 5 kart to challenge Oscar Roach, and he's through. The 5 is through on the 96, so Noah Moulton leads on to the final lap. Then it's Stanley Stafford, then it's Jensen Sale. Jack Holmes in third, JJ Plowman, yes, Jensen Sale in third, Jack Holmes in fourth, JJ Plowman in fifth. Then it's Oscar Roach. We've got someone off at the first chicane. There's yellow flags out there. As Noah Moulton just has to work this one out, but it's not the easiest thing. Every corner is a guessing game at the moment in these conditions. You can see the spray coming off the tyres where once it wasn't. Jensen Sale has been so confident going for moves in this part of the lap. He's going to go for it again on Stanley Stafford for second place. Can he find the grip? And also Stafford will then get Jack Holmes trying to take the position off of him as well. All of this will gift the win to the man who has been controlling this one beautifully. Noah Moulton just needs, I say just, it's one of the hardest races of the day to do so. He just needs to get the car around the last few corners and will take the win in even more challenging conditions here at Fulbeck. It's Jensen Sale in second, Jack Holmes in third. I think Stanley Stafford crossed the line in fourth. We'll have to double check it because his transponder has been a little bit intermittent at the moment. JJ Plowman, there it is confirmed, he's back up to fourth now. JJ Plowman in fifth, sixth for Oscar Roach, seventh for Amrit Singh Atwell came there to the fall there in seventh place at the end there. Jensen Walker in eighth, ninth for Charlie Hobbs. Layla Bell in 10th in the end there, ahead of Jay Birmingham, Jackson Hilton, Luca Matakekia, and Alexander Adams and William Collinson. Well, that's how they finished up for Intermax. It's still raining. It's a little lighter again, but I'm sure it isn't gone for good, folks. Keeping things nice and spiced up here at Fulbeck. We're going to be looking next to Heat 2 in Senior Max, our last heat race of the day. Getting ready on the dummy grid then, surprisingly with wet weather tyres on. I'm being sarcastic, of course. I am not surprised at all to see that. We have got drivers still out on track after that incident. We mentioned there were yellows out at chicane 1 in that last race. I've just seen William Collinson recovering his cart back. He's not the only driver who's out there, though, who's involved in that. I can see that the medical team have gone out to one last driver who's stricken down there at chicane number 1. So we are going to have a pause here in proceedings, not under red flags at the moment. That all happened on the very last lap. But we are just going to have a slight pause here at the circuit whilst the medical team are seeing to that driver. As I say, I think William Collinson was involved in that incident, but I've already just seen him recovering his 74 kart back to the pit lane. So we'll just have a slight pause here before our Senior Max Heat 2 goes out and before we take you through the grid for that. We'll let you know as soon as we have an update on that here at the circuit. Thank you for being with us still here on your Alpha Live broadcast of round 8 of the Rally Replay SuperOne Series, coming to you from Fulbeck. Changeable conditions we've got here at the circuit. Right now it isn't raining, but that could be wrong in 30 seconds, frankly. We're just having a brief pause here in proceedings ahead of our Heat 2 for Senior Max, and that's whilst a driver is receiving some attention down at Chicane 1 after an incident in the latter part of that race. We're not going to, I'm not going to confirm who that is until I have confirmation, because obviously we don't want to speculate under these circumstances and cause unnecessary concern. Rest assured, though, that the medical team are with them right now down at the exit of that chicane. We'll let you know as soon as we have an update on that. Senior Max will be the next ones out onto circuit. They were kind of the last class to go out before we went into the lunch break, and we had all the intermittent inclemency in our weather, frankly. A winner earlier on was Zaki Hussein, who was also the driver who won the trophy final here yesterday, and both of the heats actually, so he would be the odds-on favourite for this one. Mind you, very different conditions to I think any of the other points at which he's taken the win. James Kacholek it was who finished second earlier on ahead of Marcus King. Jacob Jukes and Elliot Thomas rounded out the top 5. So that's how they did last time out. So just having a pause here at the circuit, just whilst we're making sure that the driver down at turn 1 is having all the right attention. And we'll bring you news as soon as we have it here at the circuit. Senior Rotax, it was, as I say, next out on track. That will be a field of... actually, let me double check. That will be a field of 23 drivers who we expect to be taking to the circuit. If you're just joining us right now, ahead of the, or expecting to see the start of, well, the commencement of our trophy finals, in particular the Bambino C50 trophy final, there's just a bit of a delay here whilst the circuit staff and medical team here are attending to an incident down at chicane number 1 that occurred at the end of the penultimate second heat of the day, which was the second heat for Intermax. We're just having a slight pause here in proceedings whilst we allow all of the medical team and staff to tend to that driver. You can see the Senior Max field ready there on the dummy grid. Just whilst we're waiting for that, here at the circuit, we might go back to some of the interviews that we conducted yesterday with our class winners off the back of round 7. Each race meeting consists of a round on the Saturday and the Sunday, and yesterday we caught up with some of our class winners for round 7 here at Fulbeck. All right, we're down here on the podium then for round 7 of the Rally Replay SuperOne Series. We're here with our winner today in Bambino C50, Will Wainwright. Well done. How does it feel to have taken the win here today?
Good. I love that. Yeah.
Good stuff. And tell us about what was the story of your dad? Tell us about your heat races. What happened in those?
They were sort of good, yeah. Some of them had to start from pit lane. Yeah.
Did I hear your dad right telling me you started from the pit lane and then worked your way up to a top 10 there?
Yeah, top 10, yeah.
Really good progress there. Really good progress there. What's your favourite track, Will?
Wilton Mill.
Nice, good choice, good choice. Particularly being as we're going there next after this race meeting, so that's great. And is there anyone you'd like to thank off the back of today's win?
Tim Lego. For my engines. And my dad.
I think that's a good choice. That's brilliant. Well done, Will, on the victory, and all the best for tomorrow, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Here on the podium then with our winner here for round 7 of the Rally Replay SuperOne Series at Fulbeck for senior Rotax. It is Zaki Hussein. Zaki, congratulations. It's been an interesting day, changeable conditions here at the circuit. Can't quite remember how that may or may not have influenced tyre decisions in seeing as it didn't. Okay, either way, talk us through your day.
Yeah, we just got a good quali, qualified first, and then got a gap at the start of the heats and then just maintained it. Same final. So yeah, it was good.
Brilliant stuff. Is Fulbeck a circuit you've raced that much and had much success at before?
2 years ago in junior, but other than that, nah, not really.
Okay, and at this point in the championship, round 7, how's the season campaign going for you in general?
Well, we were 14th coming into this round, but I don't really know where we are because we haven't dropped our GYG round because we didn't do it. So, yeah.
It's a good point. Drop scores still to come in. What do you feel makes a good lap around this Fulbeck circuit?
Just good braking. Like if you can get the car stopped and on the curbs and stuff like that, then yeah, you can get a good lap in. That's it.
Nice and simple. You make it sound so simple. Brilliant. Anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to saying thanks off the back of today's success?
Yeah, my mum and dad, TWR for helping me out, Gabby Weyer, A Jewelers and Big B's, and everyone else supported.
Brilliant stuff. All right, well, thank you for talking to us, Zaki. All the best for tomorrow in round 8.
Thank you.
All right, then. Back here at the podium for round 7 of Rally Replay SuperOne. We're here with our winner in Micromax here today, Alfie Garrett. Alfie, well done. We were just saying off camera, it's the first time we've had a chance to do this interview. You've had several wins this year, but it's been on Sundays, not the Saturdays. So well done for that. And tell us how your day went. Maybe talk us through your heats and that final that brought you to be standing here talking to us.
In qualifying, got hang of P1, got a great start for Heat 1, carried it through. Heat 2, started P1 again, got through the pack. I had a good start. I went through the pack and then I stuck.
That was that. And the finals, how was the end?
Final, I got the lead, went through, pulled a gap, but then Ansel started to put some pressure on me, so got worried a bit. But then last lap came and I was like, yeah, I've got this.
Brilliant stuff. Now, I think it's worth us mentioning this is your 4th finals win of the year, if that memory serves correctly. How do you feel the season's going?
Great. We got to 2nd. This might put us up the 1st. Maybe. I hope we do.
Brilliant stuff. Quick fire questions then. What's your favourite circuit?
Larkhill, Scotland.
Nice choice. Interesting choice. Who's your favourite driver?
Lando Norris.
Also a good choice. Brilliant stuff. And is there anyone that you'd like to say thank you to off the back of today's win?
My family, Apollo Tyres and RCE.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much for talking to us, Alfie. All the best for tomorrow.
Thank you.
Here on the podium then, with another one of our podium finishers, taking 3rd place here today in round 7 and taking the Girl Power Award as a result. 3rd place in Junior Max, Emily Cotty. Emily, congratulations. Talk us through the day. Changeable conditions, looked a bit frenetic out there at times.
Yeah, in Heat 1 we had a bit of damage, so we finished, I think, in 15th. And then in the second heat, we finished in 4th, I think. And then it was like raining a bit and it was a bit slippery. And then in the final we started 8th and finished 3rd, so that was good, yeah.
And yeah, it's. I wanted to talk a bit more about your season. We're at the end of round 7. you're right in there with this championship. You've had really consistent results. So, yeah, how's the season felt to you, and how much are you thinking looking ahead to the rest of the year?
Yeah, the season's been good. I mean, GYG was a bit hard because we haven't been there for like a year, and then the rest of the rounds have been good and just getting faster every round. So the next 3 rounds should be good. So yeah.
Brilliant stuff. Anyone you'd like to say thank you off the back of today's success on the podium?
I'd like to say thanks to Rally Replay, Scott, my mechanic, and everybody in Rally Replay, and then everybody else who's like helped along the way.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks for talking to us, Emily. All the best for round 8.
Thanks. Cheers.
We're here then with another one of our class winners here today at Fulbeck for round 7 in the Rally Replay SuperOne Series. It's Jensen Sale, our winner in Intermax. Jensen, congratulations. Tell us the story of your day, the heats and through to the final that brings you to be standing here talking to us.
So qualifying, I just got on pole by very close. The top 4 were within a quarter of a tenth. And then heat 1, I just pulled a gap, and that was virtually it. And then heat 2, I didn't get the best of starts, which means I dropped back, and then I had to fight my way back through, but luckily I still got it. And then in the final, I didn't get a good start again. I dropped down to 5th, and then I came back through and just took the win.
Brilliant stuff. And yeah, changeable conditions, lovely right now in the paddock, but changeable conditions today, has that impacted you much?
No, not really, because when we've been going out, it's been slicks, so it's quite lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Your second finals win of the year. How's the season going, would you say? Give a summary as we're beyond that halfway point now.
I think I've got a chance of winning, but it'll just come down to the final round at Shennington.
Brilliant stuff. And yeah, anyone you'd like to thank off the back of today's win?
TW Racing, my family, all my sponsors, Force and GW Driver Development.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks for talking to us, Jensen. All the best for round 8 tomorrow.
Thank you.
We're here with back on the podium for round 7, and we're with our winner in Rotax 177, Mr. Nathan Chafer. Congratulations, sir. Talk us through the day, your heats and your final. How'd you come to be standing here with us?
So we qualified pole by a 10th, and then heat 1 we took the win. Then heat 2 we made the wrong tyre choice, ended up right down at the bottom, but we started 5th for the final and we worked his way up and took the win. So it's my local track and I'm happy with the win. It's good.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. You've competed at Fulbeck before with SuperOne?
Yeah, competed back in 2016 where I did really well, qualified pole, but then had a short incident in heat 2 which cost my weekend. So we're coming back again in 2024 now, and it's good. We took a win, so I'm happy with that.
Brilliant stuff. So it's your local track. We've had changeable conditions. What makes for a good lap around Fulbeck?
You just got to drive really smooth around here, and yeah, and it's a really technical track. And I've done years around here, so I know it back of my hand. And yeah, it's just good.
Lovely stuff. Well, and anyone else you want to thank as well off the back of the win?
I'd like to thank my mum and dad, Force Motorsport for the engines, CRG England for the great karts, yeah, and my little race team I got back at home, NCR, and everyone in there coming to support me today.
Brilliant stuff. Well, thanks for talking to us. All the best with your racing for round 8 tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we're back here on the podium then for round 7 of the Rally Replay SuperOne Series here at Fulbeck, and we've got our winner in IAME M1 today, Ralph Martin. Ralph, congratulations. Your first win since round 2, if I remember correctly. How does it feel to have taken another finals win?
Well, I did through the championship. I haven't had that good because it's either the engine or the chain that came off, and since round 2 I haven't had good luck and it's just backfired.
Okay, and how did that final race go? Obviously well, but tell us a bit about how the race went.
Well, on the final lap, we were going.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Live Pictures here on your Alpha Live broadcast of Round 8 of the 2024 Rally Replay SuperOne Championships. Apologies that we cut one of the interviews short there, but we've just been having a delay here at the circuit. We're just watching now senior Rotax go out onto the track, but just as they're doing so, it's right that I give you a bit of an update. The driver involved in the incident at chicane 1 who was of concern, there was the driver number 24 of Alexander Adams. The cart has been recovered. There was obviously some concern around injury that he sustained to his neck there, so rightly so the medical team were on the site with him. We have seen him conscious and interacting with the medical team there, and he's been recovered on stretcher into the ambulance now, just getting some attention from the medics here at the track. But as I say, we have seen him conscious and interacting with the team there. That was the number 24 of Alexander Adams at the tail end of the Intermax Heat 2. Next, we're going to go into it quickly, is Heat 2, the last of the heat races this weekend. Heat 2 for senior Rotax. James Kocholek starts this one from pole position. Marcus King alongside him. Zaki Hussein and Jake Riches alongside on each other on row 2. Elliot Thomas and George Sanders are next. Row 4 is where we find Reese Pope and Cameron Crockett. Jacob Jukes and James Parrish are on row 5. Billy Edgecombe and Salvador Newman on row 6. Row 7 is Tom Nottingham and Lewis Wilde. Then it's row 8 where we find Max Davis and Ollie Naylor. Sky Fraser and Alfie Barron-Oxbury are on row 9. The top 20 is rounded out by Tom Taylor and William Young. And it's Zach Fletcher and Kira Harris on row 11 with Tom Sully rounding out the 23 kart grid. Away we go with racing. Kocholek into turn number 1 will lead them away. Marcus King alongside him. What are the grip levels like? Because whilst the incident was being attended to, the sun has come back out here at the circuit, but it's still greasy conditions. I think everyone has still opted for wet weather tyres, but it looks to me like Zaki Hussein it is who's had a storming start there and up into the lead of the race in the early phases of this one. Through turn 5, the lead has come. It looks to me like it's been fairly clean all the way through turn 2 and the second chicane here, as we've got a driver off wide there onto the grass. Zaki Hussein it is, though, who leads them through the boot section. We'll have to check on timing who it was who was going wide at turn 6 there. At the end of lap 1, though, Zaki Hussein leads, and he's had an amazing start there. Was just able to get great grip through turns, well, I keep saying turn 2, which was turn 1, because this is them going through that chicane for the first time now. Kocholek in second place, Reese Pope in third. We're looking here at the 37 of Elliot Thomas challenging Marcus King in the 26. Reese Pope ahead of him. Oh, Reese Pope struggling to find the grip there through the chicane, and that surely is going to open the door to Marcus King to go up the inside of 5. Indeed it does. He'll have to hang on around the inside of turn 6 though, which will be harder to find the grip. So can Reese Pope fight back? No, he can't. And that was the opportunity for Marcus King, and he seized it, having himself been under pressure from Elliot Thomas at the start of the lap. Further down the order, we just saw, in fact, no, we stay with that battle here. Elliot Thomas now challenging Reese Pope. The 38 has the 37 alongside. Drag race towards the braking zone for chicane number 1, and Reese Pope is able to gather that one up again and hold on to the position for now. Fastest lap of the race last time through for James Kocholek. He is trying to reel back in the impressive gap that Zaki Hussein got at the start of this race. We were seeing there the likes of Jacob Jukes, George Sanders and Cameron Crockett, who are battling over 6th place. As they come through chicane number 2, there has been a contact warning issued for Cameron Crockett. And there is a move. Just caught the tail end there of Elliot Thomas going by on Reese Pope, so he has finally got that move done. And into the toe of the boot. You can see the difference in conditions here. There are some corners where there's a dry line. There are some corners where there's no dry line at all. Just saw Billy Edgecombe there coming through. Costly that for Max Davis. I think he must have had some drama somewhere, as we're still watching this battle between Elliot Thomas and Reese Pope. I'm trying to see who. I realised I didn't mention who it was who had fallen off the back of the order on that first lap of turn 6, and another squirrely moment there for the number 38 of Reese Pope, but he manages to gather it up again. Good kart control. I think it might have been Tom Nottingham who we saw going wide onto the grass in this turn at lap 1. Quote me on that one, but I'm pretty confident it's he, and he's on a bit of a recovery drive now. Zaki Hussein leads. He's just started a new lap now. There he is. Ahead of Kacholek and Marcus King, and Marcus King really putting the pressure now on Kacholek. Tries to tuck underneath through the chicane. Is he going to have a look to the inside? Kacholek tries to shut the door and skirts out wide, but can he find grip on the exit? This is fantastic stuff in greasy conditions here, slipping and sliding around, but Marcus King has got the job done. I'm not sure if there was contact actually through turn 2 there, but it certainly got tight between the 26 of King and the 73 of Kacholek. Kacholek going sort of similar style to Reese Pope, really, trying to really chuck the cart in to get turn in. Sometimes that can work really well in these conditions. You've got to wrestle the cart really into the corners, almost induce the slide in some places, and then there's other corners where you can be a bit more measured. Second place battle though, Marcus King, James Kacholek, and now Elliot Thomas, courtesy of setting the fastest lap, has now caught up to the back of Kacholek. Zaki Hussein though, he might not have the fastest lap of the race, but he has got decent pace, and he's consistently got decent pace, whereas these others behind him are occasionally having the odd battle, which is holding them up. So he's now 2.8 seconds to the good. Out front is Hussein. Kacholek absorbing the pressure well from Thomas. We've seen him take a different line like that through 5 before. Further back you can see Reese Pope just ahead of the battle between George Sanders, Jacob Jukes, Billy Edgecombe. Through the last corner of lap number 5 comes the battle for third place. Kacholek under pressure from Thomas. Thomas having a look to the inside. Kacholek perhaps taking a slightly shallower line in defence there. Fastest lap of the race for Cameron Crockett in the number 5, who's in his pursuit of Jacob Jukes. Not sure any two lines through turn 2 are the same at the moment as the drivers try and navigate these conditions, but it is actually relatively sunny at the moment over the circuit. Both lines working for Kacholek and Thomas there through turn number 5. Being informed that the number 12 of Jake Riches and the number 79 of Salvador Newman have both had to retire from this one. So unfortunately, they'll take no further part. If memory serves correctly, that might be a repeat of fate there for Jake Riches. I'm not sure he was able to finish Heat 1 either. So that's, if that's right, then that's a disappointment for him, and he'll be hoping for better things in the final. And this time, can Thomas tuck underneath? He's been taking that later apex line for the last few corners. Can he hold the advantage over Kacholek? Kacholek will have the inside line. No, Kacholek got better drive off the corner by having that wider line through turn 2, and is able to retain third place. We've seen them both take these different lines through turn 5. But now Thomas tries up the inside of 6. We've not seen that for the last few laps. He gets very close there on the exit, and that is through for Elliot Thomas in the number 37, up into third place. Zaki Hussein still leads this one. The gap is down though to 1.4 seconds to Marcus King, who's been able to focus on eating into that gap whilst the drivers on screen right now have been battling. And Elliot Thomas, having got by on James Kacholek, has now opened up a little bit of a gap of his own here. Further down the order, Billy Edgecombe has got by on Cameron Crockett. Here's your race leader, Zaki Hussein, in that number 13 cart. Unlucky for some, but not so far this weekend for this man. Other drivers making progress. William Young and Ollie Naylor have both got by on Max Davies and Lewis Wild, so there's a fair few changes happening in the battles below the top 10, the 11th through 14th places. Final lap it is though, and Zaki Hussein will cross the line to take the win in Heat 2 for Senior Rotax. He crosses the line, takes the win. Marcus King finishes second. Elliot Thomas was third. James Kacholek in fourth, and Reese Pope rounds out the top 5. As you can see, the sun is beating down, so Zaki Hussein continues his impressive form in Senior Rotax, which brings to an end our second heat runnings here. It will be trophy finals coming up next here on your Alpha Live broadcast of round 8 of the Rally Replay SuperOne Series for 2024. We'll be back with you shortly. We will be going into the trophy finals next here at the circuit. Just once again, though, I do want to, because we had to sort of talk through it in quite short order before we went into the Senior Rotax, we had to react to when the circuit went back to live here with all of the staff in position. Just to clarify the situation that happened at the end of the penultimate heat race we saw there, the Intermax race, there was an incident on the last lap that involved the 24 of Alexander Adams. And because it was on the last lap and behind the leaders, the race was able to finish as normal for the checkered flag. But there was a pause between Intermax Heat 2 and Senior Rotax Heat 2 as medical teams tended to Alexander Adams. It was down at the first chicane, and there was some concern, I think, about his neck, whether he'd injured that. So just to confirm, we did see him conscious and interacting with the medical team. They were able to recover him. They recovered him into the ambulance, and the medical teams are giving him all the attention he needs now. But as I say, we did see him conscious and interacting with the teams there. So that was the end result for the number 24 in Intermax Heat 2 earlier on. Let's take a look ahead, though, to the important races of the day here, the trophy finals. We will be kicking off now with Bambino C50's trophy final for round 8. Let's look at the grid then. How have the drivers accrued their points over the 2 heats? How do they line up off the back of them? Well, Noah Wicklow has got 68 points across the 2 heats to line up on pole position. Logan Hodgetts just 2 points behind him on the front row of the grid. Will Wainwright and Henry Hales are on row 2. Benjamin Schlivar and Ollie West make up row 3. Ernie Wade and Arthur Bowers are your 4th row, with the top 10 rounded out by Henrik Fallat and Jesse Bailey. Calman Simon and Arlo Gamble are row number 6. Row 7 is where we find Rafe Owen and John Stevens. It'll be Cole Parrish and Jack Swong on row 8. Row 9 is Alex Marshall and Teddy Welsh. Max Armitt and Jackson Fuchs rounds out the 20 karts on the grid for this trophy final in your Bambino C50 class. A reminder, Noah Wicklow comes into today as the championship leader at the moment. It's 60 points for the win in this trophy final. 34 points for comparison for a heat. Away we go then for 9 minutes of racing plus a lap here. Noah Wicklow leads them away. They'll miss out chicane number 1, as we've been seeing all weekend on this first lap. And look out for that. Great start there, it looked to me, from Henry Hales. Was trying to pull alongside Noah Wicklow there, but had to slot into 3rd place. Logan Hodgetts is, we've got incidents further down for the 72 and the 23 respectively, but they've managed to recover that and get going again. That's Arlo Gamble and Teddy Welsh, I think that would have been. Noah Wicklow, though, leads them through chicane 2 and has had exactly the start he would have wanted. You can see now the sun beating down onto the circuit as battling away there. Was Will Wainwright. I think he's dropped a few positions off the start. You can see he's back behind the likes of Ernie Wade, and I think Benjamin Schlivar's got by on him as well. But trying to fight back now is Will Wainwright as they come round to finish lap number 1. Noah Wicklow leads, then Logan Hodgetts in second, Henry Hales in third, Ernie Wade and Arthur Bowers your top 5. So yeah, it is Bowers who's just ahead of Wainwright there actually. Schlivar is a few karts back, and there is Bowers having a look at Ernie Wade in the number 11, but couldn't quite make a move of it that time around. And does that open the door for Will Wainwright now to attack Arthur Bowers? They're going to get side by side here as they head towards the chicane, but we have seen drivers hold position if they're on the inside, but no, Will Wainwright sweeps through there on Arthur Bowers there for 5th place. Wicklow still leading, there he is. Then it's Logan Hodgetts, then comes Henry Hales in the 57. It's Ernie Wade, Will Wainwright and Arthur Bowers down the top 6. They come into the boot section. Ernie Wade there in the number 11 between Henry Hales in third, and Will Wainwright now confirmed up into 5th place. Further back, it looked to me like Benjamin Schlivar and Calman Simon were going side by side there. It looks to me like Calman Simon stayed ahead there. There's Noah Wicklow at the head of the field. Logan Hodgetts about 1.1 seconds back. Then it's Henry Hales, and here comes a battle. Will Wainwright now trying on Ernie Wade into the second chicane, and he's got that done if he can find the grip. If he can find the grip. Don't forget, if you go offline at the moment, it is greasy out there. But he's managed to hold that one together, and another nice move from Will Wainwright around that chicane 2 that's brought himself back up now to 4th place. Fastest lap of the race currently with Noah Wicklow. Further down the order, it was Calman Simon we saw ahead of Benjamin Schlivar at the back of shot. Cole Parrish as well has got by on Wraith Owen. Another fastest lap from Noah Wicklow, trying to open up the gap. 2.4 seconds the gap, which at this stage in as competitive a class as Bambino C50 is an impressive gap to have in hand. Ernie Wade still being kept very honest here by Arthur Bowers in that number 99 kart. Wade perhaps taking a slightly shallower line there in defence perhaps through turn number 2. The trouble with this is knowing when to defend, because the moment you start to defend, you do start to compromise your line. There's another move here for Will Wainwright is on in chicane 2, this time against Henry Hales, and that time it was a beautiful move again from Will Wainwright. He's just got so much drive off of that second corner on the way down to chicane 2, and then just knows how to nail the move up the inside. That is brilliant stuff from the driver of the 21. Ernie Wade here absorbing the pressure of Arthur Bowers. And then behind him, Hendrix Fallat and Calman Simon now starting to come into close proximity to each other. Beautiful sunshine now down the circuit. As you can see, Arthur Bowers pulling alongside Ernie Wade, and he's got the job done. There in the back of shot, you'll see Bowers come through now out of the chicane ahead of Ernie Wade. That is a change for 5th place. And Wade is taking a different line through that second corner. We'll now potentially have to worry about the likes of Hendrix Fallat and Calman Simon, who are right with him. Benjamin Schlivar is on the back of this pack as well in the BM plated kart. Oh, we've got a kart stationary at chicane 2. Have to double check on timing who that is. It's the train for 5th place, which is one of the closest and longest trains out on track at the moment. I don't think it is the closest and longest, possibly rivaled by this one here, which is over 11th place. Here we go then. Which line do you take? Half the drivers going over to driver's right in attack or defence, the other half taking the regular line as Will Wainwright sets the fastest lap of the race now. I'm wondering if it's Jax Wong who's our driver down at the chicane. who was stationary a lap ago. Will Wainwright with another move on Logan Hodgetts. He's catching up to them too quickly for me to register that the move is on. Will Wainwright up into second place here with another textbook move, his speciality, it would appear. This is the young man, don't forget, who took that trophy win. We heard from him earlier as the round 7 winner from yesterday. But it is a massive gap now, to be fair, that Noah Wicklow, well, by Bambino C50 standards, it's a big gap. It's 4 seconds. There it is. You can see it on your screens right now. That is the gap. You've got to say, as Will Wainwright, as he sets another fastest lap whilst executing that pass on Logan Hodgetts. Meanwhile, look at the battle over 5th place. Still Arthur Bowers in the lead, but Ernie Wade putting pressure on. And Hendrix Falat there on the inside as well. As I say, half in attack, half in defence versus Kalman Simon. Benjamin Schlivar really pressuring Kalman Simon here. Kalman Simon in the 12, Benjamin Schlivar in the BM plate. This is a really entertaining pack of karts here. The 5 karts contesting 5th place, basically. You can just see ahead of them. But, there's the 57 of Henry Hales, who we've not seen quite so much of. He's having a relatively quiet one compared to many others at the moment. He's running really nicely there in 4th place. And that's Kalman Simon having a look at Hendrix Falat, and I think he made that stick. Indeed he did. There is the 12 kart ahead of the 15 now. The yellow Senna tribute helmet there of Simon. Fastest lap of that race from Will Wainwright. Don't forget, and that is, I think he's got his work cut out trying to reel in Noah Wicklow, though. The pace difference isn't that great. Wicklow is controlling this one really nicely at the front. Kalman Simon trying to tuck underneath Ernie Wade here, the 11 versus the 12, but he didn't quite have enough overspeed to execute the pass, and he had to slot back into position. And there is a move from on Kalman Simon from Falat to try and take the place back, and he does so. Another good move into chicane 2 from one of our Bambino C50 drivers. This time it's Hendrix Falat getting back past Kalman Simon for 7th place. Really nice racing between these drivers. Great racing respect as well. I'm seeing plenty of room being given in these moves. As I say that, it gets very tight on the pinch point there on the heel of the boot, but it all stays fine. This is the battle for 2nd place, though. Will Wainwright versus Logan Hodgetts. Hodgetts, I've not given fair mention to, as he's been keeping Will Wainwright very honest since Wainwright went past him. He would fancy this 2nd place back again, would Logan. You could just see Noah Wicklow flashing through shot there. That's how far in front. What about this move here? Can Logan Hodgetts return the favour into chicane 2? No, he can't. Not this time. And Will Wainwright retains that 2nd place for now. Through turn 6 they come. You can see and sense the drivers gaining confidence here as the conditions improve. There's Henry Hales in 4th. And it's Kalman Simon's got by Arthur Bowers now. That's all change again for 5th place. The 12 ahead of the 99. Kalman Simon up into 5th place. Then it's Arthur Bowers, so he hasn't lost out any more than that position there, although Hendrix Falat is all over the back end. Once again, Will Wainwright feeling the need to go a little bit defensive. Is he? Who's that? That's someone a lap down. That's Teddy Welsh, I believe, who they're passing there, who is very courteous and does not wish to hold up the leaders. There's going to be no move attempt on this time for Logan Hodgetts. Actually, no, we're on the final lap. Let's call this one home, and then I'll give a bit of an update on something else that's a developing story. Noah Wicklow, what a race he's had. What a drive he's had for this round. He's going to cross the line to take the win for round 8 for 2024 in the Rally Replay SuperOne Series. He pulled out an impressive gap, and he held on to it. But Will Wainwright as well, I think, can be proud of his performance there. That is a brilliant drive to 2nd place Logan Hodgetts in third, Henry Hales in fourth, Arthur Bowers in fifth, ahead of Hendrix Fallat, Benjamin Schlivar in seventh, ahead of Ernie Wade, Calvin Simon, and Jesse Bailey to round out your top 10. What a drive from Noah Wicklow. He really has had an impressive form recently. Obviously took the finals win at Clay Pigeon, took 2 round wins yesterday, and now he's had a brilliant day here for round 8, taking those wins in both of the heats and now the final. So he's had a clean sweep, and that's exactly what he would have hoped for. There's your provisional result for your Bambino C50 final. We will be moving next into our Honda Cadet final, but just to give a little bit of an update on Alexander Adams, who was the driver from that Intermax Heat 2 race. Obviously, we saw the medical team out there with him, and he was recovered in the ambulance. He's now been released by the medical team, and he's okay. So I just wanted to confirm that. And sorry for the slight pause in my comments just towards the end of that race. I was just receiving confirmation of that. So that's exactly what we want to hear. Very happy to hear that Alexander Adams, who was involved in that incident in Intermax Heat 2, has been given the all clear by the medical team. All right then, off the back of that good news, and congratulations to Noah Wicklow for that round win, let's look ahead to our next trophy final, which is going to be for our Honda Cadet GX200 class. Here's your grid then for the trophy final for round 8 of the 2024 Rally Replay SuperOne Series Honda Cadet class. Let's take a look at the grid and how have the drivers done. Who's come out top from our heat results? Cian Sullivan starts this one from pole position. Luke McGall alongside him. Ryan White and Archie Cannon are on row number 2, with Ricky McIntosh, his efforts to move up the heat races after a challenging qualifying rewarding him with 5th place on the grid for this one. Shailen Srikantan lines up alongside him in 6th place. Charlie Gregg and Charlie Quine make up row number 4, with Peter Webster and Sebastian Burlington on row 5. Eddie Duncan and Dino Rowland on row number 6. Noah Clare and Freddie Drury are your 7th row of the grid, ahead of Daniel Holst and Ollie Knox on row 8. Then it's Eloisa Burlington and Jack White's on row 9. J.M. Prakash rounding out your 19 karts who are going to contest this trophy final for round 8 in Honda Cadet GX200. Yeah, just to remind, that is the maximum 68 points that you can have that Cian Sullivan had, as we saw for Noah Wicklow in the Bambino C50s just now. So he's done as much as he can to maximise his chances of taking the win in this trophy final. Sun beating down on the track. There's still points. You can see the sheen on the track. There's still points where there are damp, greasy patches. But for the most part now, I mean, you would not believe that it was the same day here at Fulbeck as we were seeing earlier on in our Heat 2 races. Maybe that's a nice way to finish, though. Maybe we want to see the drivers being able to really trust the grip out there so that they can go for the moves in what is going to be, I'm sure, a highly entertaining set of trophy finals, as already was for Bambino C50. Don't forget, all of the action that's been broadcast so far this season, and indeed last season actually, for Super One, available on the Alpha Live YouTube channel. Right now, though, the focus is on the next 9 minutes plus a lap of racing. Who's going to take the win for round 8 in Honda Cadets? Away we go then. Cian Sullivan leads them away in the number 26. It's a good start from the 3rd place on the grid. Ryan White having a good start from the pole side of the grid, as they'll miss out the chicane on lap 1. Is it all clean? No, there's contact. There's Sebastian Burlington. No, excuse me, Shailen Srikantan. It was the 33. Pardon me, that I saw heading up into the air briefly there, but he carries on. Nothing as dramatic as when we saw that earlier on in Junior Max in Heat 1, much earlier on in the day. Everyone keeps going, I'm delighted to say. Through turn 6 they come. Into the boot section now. It looks to me like Ryan White did indeed have a good start off of third on the grid, and Ricky McIntosh as well. So the pole side of the grid seems to have fared very well on that first lap. Cian Sullivan leads Ryan White, who started third, in second, and Ricky McIntosh, who started fifth, in third. Then it's Sebastian Burlington in fourth, and Eddie Duncan rounds out your top five at the moment. Costly moments for Archie Cannon on that first lap. He's lost out heavily, some 11 positions down to 16th place, but he is still running as part of the main pack. So he's not, well, he's still very much a factor in this race. He's not playing catch-up to that degree. Not too much field spread so far as they all come through the middle sector of the lap. Sullivan leading them into this little boot complex. There is Eddie Duncan in the 57. Under pressure from Charlie Gregg in the 6, who pulls to the inside, looking for the move into chicane 1. Down the inside, lovely move there from Charlie Gregg. Takes 5th place away from Eddie Duncan for now. And Luke McGall is right with them as well in that number 15 kart. Further back as well, you just saw Peter Webster, who I think has just got by on Charlie Quine, because previously the IM plated driver was ahead of the 25. Indeed, they're still battling away, but Peter Webster seizes the inside line into chicane 2 and holds that position for now. Shailen Srikantan there in the number 33, right with them as well, whose nose we did see briefly go up in the air in the first lap, but has been able to continue nonetheless. There is Charlie Quine in the IM plate there. You just saw briefly chasing Peter Webster to try and get that position back. Charlie Gregg in the number 6 leads the battle for 5th place out of the first chicane, but it's Luke McGall we're looking at there briefly. There he is down the inside of Eddie Duncan and gets the move done for 6th place. So the number 15 past the 57, McGall past Duncan. Cian Sullivan being kept honest so far at the head of the field by Ryan White and Ricky McIntosh. We're still back with the battle over 8th place, which is led by Peter Webster at the moment. Charlie Quine behind him, Srikantan, and Archie Cannon, who's also a part of this battle now. He's come up onto the back of this, courtesy of the fastest lap of the race. There in the number 42. You can see from a comms position, White and McIntosh really pushing hard here to stay on terms with Cian Sullivan. They'll be doing that, not fighting at the moment, with the hope of the prospect of better rewards later on, as Srikantan looks down the inside of Charlie Quine, and the 42 of Cannon has been able to get by as well, and they've both got by on Webster as well. What a good set of corners there from Srikantan and Cannon. They played that one brilliantly and got a double pass done there effectively in turn 2. They just had great drive off of the chicane, and now down the inside goes Cannon on Srikantan. We've seen great pace from Archie Cannon the last couple of laps. He doesn't quite have the fastest lap of the race. That just got taken by Sebastian Burlington, but he's had great pace, great passing, and he's now by on Shailen Srikantan. He's up 3 positions in 1 lap there, is the driver of the number 42. And I'm pretty sure by the end of this one, he'll find himself up in 8th place. Beautiful stuff. We're back with the head of the field, Cian Sullivan in the 26, Ryan White in the 47, Ricky McIntosh there in the 14, excuse me, and Sebastian Burlington. I mentioned he had the fastest lap. It's just been taken by Luke McGall, in all honesty, but he is slowly but surely nonetheless bringing himself onto the back of this to make it a 4-horse battle for the lead. Still plenty of this one to go. 4 minutes plus a lap. Through turn 6 they go. Then you saw Charlie Gregg and Luke McGall, the next karts down the order, also pushing hard because they can see the reward up the road. This goes back to the strategy that I was talking about sprint racing much earlier on in the broadcast. Which way does Cian Sullivan go in defence? The driver's really having to think now. Where do they position their kart? Is it time to defend? If you defend too early, you're just going to slow yourself down and guarantee that you'll have to defend even more or outright get past. If you defend too late, well, that one's got the obvious conclusion. You'll get past anyway. Really interesting stuff, this. Sullivan has taken both heat wins so far today. He's going to have to fight for this one. Of course, the trophy win yesterday going the way of Ryan White, who currently sits in second place. This weekend is the first time we've seen Ryan in Rally Replay SuperOne this year, so in some ways he's got a sort of nothing to lose, if you like. He doesn't have to worry about the championship permutations in that sense. Still see the move for 5th place there. Charlie Gregg fires a late move there on Luke McGall into turn 2. And they're still side by side. Gregg is going to have the inside line for the next corner. And the 6 does get through. Does he, or can he retain that one? Luke McGall's going to try and come back at him, but it's going to be difficult to come back from that unless he can sweep back up the inside of turn 6. Yes, he can. They're still side by side through turn 6. And this is going to bring Eddie Duncan into the mix as well. We're back with the leaders coming through the boot, but what order are they going to come through next? It's going to be Luke McGall, who's ahead of Charlie Gregg as they started the lap. And meanwhile, McIntosh has got by on White. I think that's why we cut briefly to the leaders, because there's a change for second place out there after keeping Cian Sullivan very honest for all of the race. That has been a stellar lap from Ricky McIntosh. He's taken second place and he set fastest lap of the race. Here they are then coming towards the chicane 2. Now with that black helmet of Ricky McIntosh there in second place, you can see. It's the 26 from the 14 and then the 47 of Ryan White. Sebastian Burlington still doing very well there in the 22, keeping them in sight, keeping himself within reaching distance of this battle. Look how much Cian Sullivan's being pressured now by Ricky McIntosh in that 14 cart. This is brilliant stuff from our Honda Cadet GX200s today. Been thoroughly entertained by this class. Can rain or shine. Fastest lap of the race from Archie Cannon now as he sees the opportunity ahead of him of Eddie Duncan, as that was a little look there of Cannon and Srikantan, I think, on Eddie Duncan there. What's happened? Oh, hang on. What's happened to Ryan White? Ryan White's dropping back here. He's lost out heavily there. I don't know if that's by a mistake or he's got a problem, but Ryan White now is back with the likes of Archie Cannon and Shailen Srikantan. He's lost out heavily there, and is his nose flapping about there? Has he had some kind of... no, sorry, I think it's the 42 that's got a nose flapping about a little bit there. Eddie Duncan being challenged from behind here still by Cannon and Srikantan. This is the penultimate lap, but that was a really costly lap for Ryan White. He's down to 6th place, where once he was really challenging for the lead. Eddie Duncan in the 57, and Srikantan going side by side there, and Srikantan's got the job done. Now Peter Webster in the 25 will try and challenge Eddie Duncan. You can see the 57 is Eddie Duncan with the Lewis Hamilton style helmet, and he's got Peter Webster now behind him in that 25 cart. So the leaders are coming around. They'll see the last lap board this time. Cian Sullivan and Ricky McIntosh have both driven superbly today, as Eddie Duncan is still battling away with Srikantan. This is a fantastic battle in this pack. Rightly, we look at the leaders as they come onto this last lap. What has Ricky McIntosh got in the way of an attack? Sullivan goes defensive into turn 2, but a late move to the inside. What a dive from McIntosh. They're going to be side by side down the back straight. Who's going to go out on top into chicane 2? That was such a late move from McIntosh, and he's still got the lead into chicane 2. This is fantastic stuff from the two drivers. Side by side into 5. Cian Sullivan's back through. Is there another dive bomb? No, Sullivan covers it off. Brilliant dogfight between these two drivers. They're side by side again on the exit of turn 6. Who's going to take the win? Sullivan's going to stamp the authority into this boot section, but coming alongside him is McIntosh, side by side again, heading towards the last corner. Cian Sullivan is going to hang on for the win of round 8 in the Honda Cadet GX200s. Ricky McIntosh in second, Sebastian Burlington in third, Luke McGall in fourth, ahead of Charlie Gregg in fifth, Ryan White in the end finishing in sixth, Archie Cannon in seventh, eighth for Eddie Duncan, Shailen Srikantan in ninth, and Peter Webster in 10th. Well, they might like to think of me. My voice is going to last the rest of today, folks. But that was an incredible exchange between Sullivan and McIntosh at the end there. And it went the way by just over a tenth of a second to Cian Sullivan. That is a mega win there. There's your provisional result. Don't forget results.alphatiming.co.uk. Click on Super One for all of the confirmed results. My goodness me. As the sun shines down here on the circuit, we've been treated to some gloriously sunny racing, really. Everyone's quite happy now. Brilliant, brilliant battling. So, wow, that was highly entertaining. We've got more of that to come, folks. It's your final for Micromax next here on your Alpha Live broadcast. Right, well, I think I've got my breath back now. We're going to move into our trophy final now for Micromax for round 8. Let's take you through the grid for this last race of the day for Micromax, the 60 championship points on offer. Alfie Garrett is your pole sitter here, courtesy of his 2 heat wins. Ansel in the number 96 is alongside him. Logan Stanley Jones and Toby Cannon on your second row of the grid. Freddie Blackshaw and Xavier Ramsey are on row number 3. Ethan Lloyd and Elsie Gannon are row 4, with Albie J. Stubbs and Mason Munzer rounding out your top 10. Daniel Stangerine and Isla Parsons are on row number 6. Jensen Darlow, and Frank Morris round out a 14-cart grid for Micromax. That's how they line up then for the trophy final for round 8. As a reminder for you all, the situation here is that Alfie Garrett took the clean sweep yesterday in this class and is looking set. Well, he's set himself up to get a clean sweep across the whole weekend, which would be the first time we've seen somebody do that in Rally Replay SuperOne in Micromax class so far this year. Ansel gave that a very good try, I have to say, though, in Clay Pigeon. He won everything up until this equivalent point, and then finished second in the trophy final to Alfie. So Ansel will be hoping that he can deny Alfie, will basically return the favour here, essentially, and deny him the win in this last final. It's going to be good to see, though. We've got plenty of competitive drivers in this field. It'll be 9 minutes plus a lap of racing. So looking forward to this one. Do hope you're enjoying the coverage of round 8 of the Rally Replay SuperOne Series, coming to you live from Fulbeck Kart Circuit in Lincolnshire. We're a few miles north of Grantham. We're a few miles southeast of Newark-on-Trent, as our Micromax drivers come out onto circuit to far nicer conditions than they had last time out, you may recall. So they'll be loving the grip that they can now enjoy on this 940 metres of racing tarmac. If you haven't already, by the way, if you're watching on the Alpha Live stream and you haven't liked, shared and subscribed, may I heartily recommend that you like, share and subscribe. Heartily but humbly recommend that you like, share and subscribe. It really is very much appreciated. Let's show some love and get people talking about this fantastic racing that we've got here today. Here we go then. Alfie Garrett on pole in the 42. Ansel in the 96 alongside. Away we go for the trophy final in Micromax. Good start from Logan Stanley Jones, trying to pull alongside in the number 73. He's going to look for the inside line into the first hairpin, but he's going to not get the room given by Alfie Garrett, who comes across to take the regular racing line. All clean, though, through that first corner as they head into chicane 2. Ansel's been able to take up second place ahead of Logan Stanley Jones, but it was a very good start from the 73, looking for the space on driver's right. Mason Muncie, you could just see going through shot there at turn 5 as they string their way through the last sector of this first lap. Alfie Garrett leads then at the end of lap 1. Ansel in second, Logan Stanley Jones in third, Ethan Lloyd, one of the big movers there. LBJ Stubbs also with a good start to line up 4th and 5th at the end of that first lap. Just seeing, I think Toby Cannon probably had the most challenging first lap. There he is in the 17. Dropped down the order quite a bit on that first lap, but still very much part of this pack. You can see that there is not a lot of field spread at this point. You can just see Xavier Ramsey in the 14. Battling away over 8th place. To finish lap number 2. And it all stays as they were. Everyone in the same order on that last lap as they bed themselves into the pace, probably enjoying the grip the likes of which they haven't experienced for a fair few hours. Little look there from Xavier Ramsey on Daniel Stangerine in the 22 through that second corner, but stayed as it was. A little bit of a gap now forming between Freddie Blackshaw in 6th and the battle over 7th place, currently being led by Daniel Stangerine. There is that gap. So this second pack is Stangerine, Ramsey, Elsie Gannon in the 99, Toby Cannon in the 17. Then it's the 50 of Isla Parsons and Mason Munzer, Frank Morris and Jensen Darlow. So there's sort of 2 packs. There's a pack of 6 and then a pack of 8. That's basically the way the field is. Very little field spread. And that is Xavier Ramsey through. Ramsey through on Stangerine there, the 14 ahead of the 22. Now Xavier's been challenging for that position for a while, so it's now going to be interesting to see the pace of that number 14 kart. Can Ramsey begin to basically undo what I just said and go back and chasing after the top 6 and join that pack? That's going to be interesting to see. Can the likes of Stangerine stay with Ramsey as part of that endeavour? Under pressure from Toby Cannon in the number 17. Toby Cannon himself having got past Elsie Gannon earlier on in the lap. The 17 now ahead of the 99. Contact warning for Mason Munzer. Fastest lap of the race with Alfie Garrett trying to stretch his legs at the head of the field, but to be fair, Ansel is matching that pace for the most part. They are literally, there was 0.02 of a second the difference between the two of them on lap time last time around, so it's close as you like at the front of this one. Definitely a lot of potential in that battle over 7th place still. Drivers very similarly matched on pace themselves. Here are the leaders: Alfie Garrett in the 42, Ansel in the number 96, and then Logan Stanley Jones in that 73 kart. There's been a change for 4th, though, I think. Is that LBJ Stubbs up into 4th place I've now seen? It looks like it to me. I fear my timing has had a slight glitch there. Yes, it is LBJ Stubbs who's up into 4th place ahead of Ethan Lloyd. There's a little bit of a gap now that's opened up. There is LBJ Stubbs. He's got a bit of breathing room now over Ethan Lloyd in that number 66, but Lloyd not too far off the back. Rest assured, if any battles begin, he will be right back with them. 4 minutes plus a lap to go then. Alfie Garrett currently looking at the prospect of a clean sweep this weekend, but one gets the impression he is not going to be able to take that one easily. He's Trying his hardest though. Fastest lap of the race again. Just to be clear, Ansel is improving his pace as well all the time. Very impressive, these young drivers keep on improving their pace as they find more confidence. Here are your leaders coming through turn number 6. Now heading towards turn 7. Heel of that boot-shaped section through the left-hander and onto the start-finish straight to begin lap number 8. And then brake and turn into chicane 1. Hopping over the curbs. Quick look over the shoulder from Alfie Garrett and then into turn 2. There's Logan Stanley-Jones and Albie J. Stubbs working together for now, I think, in 3rd and 4th, because they can see the opportunity of what might come further up the road if they don't hold each other up at this stage. But then that creates its own strategic call. When do the gloves come off? If it doesn't start coming your way, if you don't start catching up to the battle ahead, when do you cash in, as it were, or cash out, I suppose, of working together and start to have your own battles? I would argue that we're nowhere near that point for these two at the moment, with 2¼ minutes plus a lap left on the clock. It is always a consideration. This time Ansel sets the fastest lap of the race, the first driver to dip below a 51-second lap time. Ramping up the pressure on Garrett. You can see that Jones, is that intentional, that slightly tighter line on entry, just to dissuade a little move there from Stubbs? Any potential, there is a move, and that's a choice of bailing out there for Logan Stanley-Jones. I think that was RBJ. I couldn't tell if RBJ Stubbs had a genuine run on him or whether Jones had an issue there. That was very unusual there. But RBJ Stubbs is through, and so too is Ethan. Ethan Lloyd hasn't been able to capitalise on that. So it wasn't a kart problem. It wasn't that Jones just lost pace. He just, maybe that was a move from a very long way back from RBJ Stubbs, and Jones felt the need to go through. As I say, so long as he doesn't gain a lasting advantage from that, he must have felt the need to do so. Perhaps got slightly spooked by the move. 1 minute plus a lap on the clock then, which means, by my reckoning, we'll have 2 more after this. Alfie Garrett has led this one since the start, and as I say, he's won everything it's possible to win within the class this weekend, as there is a move of Toby Cannon getting by on Xavier Ramsey into chicane 2. That's a move for 7th place. Great little battle that those two have been having all race long. Penultimate lap then for these two. This is where if Ansel is going to pull a move, he wants to think about it soon. That is, of course, assuming that he can, and I have to say, I don't doubt his ability to do so at all. We've seen plenty of great racing from Ansel so far this year. What I mean by that is that Alfie Garrett is driving brilliantly here. His pace is good. His positioning when he is under threat has been good. He is not going to be an easy driver to pass. Make no mistake about it. Here they come then through the last corner on the penultimate lap. And I mentioned, do the gloves come off in the battle over 3rd place? You'd have thought now surely they do. The last lap board is out. Who's going to finish first? Who's going to finish 3rd? It's Alfie Garrett versus Ansel for 1st. It's RBJ Stubbs versus Logan Stanley-Jones for 3rd. Alfie Garrett has 0.4 of a second in hand, and you'd have thought if he can just retain that kind of gap, he'll keep Ansel at arm's length. It is not so far apart, though, for Stubbs and Jones behind them. This could be an interesting one here as we head towards the line. Alfie Garrett with another check over his shoulder. He's looking to really control this last lap and make sure he brings this one home. I wondered if Jones would have a dive to the inside of turn 6 there, but he thinks better of it. Alfie Garrett has just got to bring this one around this boot section now, and he will complete a clean sweep of wins in Micromax for this race meeting. He wins round 8, as he has done the heats today, and all of the races yesterday as well. What a weekend for Alfie Garrett. Brilliant run of success. Fair play to Ansel, though, who kept him honest throughout, not least in that trophy final. Albie J. Stubbs holds off Logan Stanley Jones for third place there to round out the podium. And Ethan Lloyd in fifth, Freddie Blackshaw in sixth, ahead of Toby Cannon in seventh, Xavier Ramsey in eighth, ninth for Elsie Gannon, and Daniel Stangerine rounds out your top 10, provisionally we should stress, in Micromax there. Really impressive run of form that Alfie Garrett is on. But important to remember, it's turning into a very interesting championship, this Micromax. We almost saw exactly the same thing last time out for Ansel as well. So there's some really good momentum behind both of their campaigns, and that's not to take away from any of the other drivers as well. Toby Cannon, the other driver who has taken race wins in this class so far this year. That's Micromax, though, for now. Next up here at Fulbeck, it's going to be your trophy final for IAME M1. Let's take you through the grid then for our trophy final in IAME M1 for round 8 here at Fulbeck in the 2024 Rally Replay SuperOne Series. Bodie Batch will start this one on pole position. Ralph Martin alongside him. Freddie Baker and Leo Harang are on the second row of the grid with Patrick Wood and Oliver Woodall on row 3. Row 4 is where we'll find Ethan Hulme and Jensen James Williams. Buster Scott and Noah Myberg round out the top 10. Heath Smith and Freddie Dyer next on row 6 with Logan Edwards and Ollie West on row 7. Row 8 will be Presley Knight and Ava Garrett, and then it's Nicholas Anser and Teddy Smith on 9. The top 20 are rounded out by Charlie Holmes and Harley Bebb. Archie Ashworth and Daniel Genov round out row 11. Max Joy and Hugh Riley round out the 24 kart grid. That's how they line up then for the trophy final in round 8 of IAME M1. To remind you, it was Ralph Martin who took home the spoils here yesterday in this race for round 7. It's Freddie Baker who came into today, or comes into today, as the leader in class so far. But Bodie Batch has had a really good run today, winning both those heats, of course, to score that maximum 68 points and bag himself pole position on this grid. Standing start, of course, it will be for IAME M1, but still, the customary 9 minutes plus a lap of racing. Once again, the conditions now very different to what these drivers had to face for their second heat earlier on. Just waiting here for everybody to be ready for the off. So apparently we're having just a small pause here for a kart that couldn't get started, but it can now. So let's get everyone's kart started. There's the start engine sign there being held aloft by John Hoyle. We'll get ready for the off here. 9 minutes plus a lap of racing. Bodie Batch, your pole sitter in the 88. Ralph Martin alongside Freddie Baker and Leo Harang make up the second row. And we're away for the trophy final of round 8 for IAME M1. And it's a good start from Bodie Batch's even start, actually, between the top two as they head down the straight for the first time. You can see there the 36 of Patrick Wood trying to position himself on the inside, slots into 4th place behind Leo Harang. What that does mean is that I think Freddie Baker's lost out a little bit there and is down to 5th in that early exchange. Bodie Batch still leads though as they come out of chicane number 2 and into turn 5 for the first time. Freddie Baker has got back past Patrick Wood, it looks to me, in that. Out of turn 6 they are already on this first lap. Through this boot section. Great start from Bodie Batch, though exactly what he would have wanted. Ralph Martin as well, you can tell, is settling in to really challenge here for the lead. There they are, heading into chicane 1 now for the first time, having bypassed it on the first lap. Freddie Baker back up to 3rd, having been down to 5th, or as far as 5th on that first lap, and around about this point, in fact, last lap. Then it's Leo Harang in the 57, but he's slow off the corner. And look out for Ethan Holm, look out for Patrick Wood, but I think Holm read it the best there, and he's got through on both of them there. In the number 11, no, Freddie Baker's on the grass. And that all got a little bit frenetic there, but it's still Freddie Baker. Then it's Ethan Holm, who's clearly got by on Leo Harang and Wood. Bodie Batch trying to stretch his legs, though, at the head of the field. And something's happened to Ralph Martin out there. I don't know if it was linked to what we saw at chicane 2. I doubt it, because he was significantly further ahead. But the gap has opened up massively that last lap. And Freddie Baker is... yeah, it was something to do with Ralph Martin. So maybe we caught that a little bit late. Apologies if I missed something there on the streamed images. But Martin there... off track, and now we're seeing Harang down the inside of Ethan Holm. That's for 3rd place, and Patrick Wood is now challenging Holm. There's some drama there for Ralph Martin. He's still very much a factor here. He's only down to 6th, but yeah, not entirely sure what happened there. There's Freddie Baker now in 2nd. Then we're here with 3rd place, which is Harang, who's just got past Ethan Holm. There is Ralph Martin, with Oliver Woodall on his tail. And we're seeing a red flag here at the circuit. Not entirely sure why at the moment. I can see there is an incident down at the first chicane. So I'll infer that it is for that. The red flag being shown, so the drivers will be instructed to stop on the grid for now. This is, if memory serves, the 3rd red flag that we've seen here today, regrettably. We've also seen pauses in between races, for instance, that have happened on the very last lap. But yeah, we have unfortunately got the return of the red flag here at the circuit. The other drivers being instructed to line up on the grid. And obviously, as is standard here, we're not going to speculate on what the situation is down there. We will bring you news as soon as we have it. We'll also check the. We'll also check exactly what the decision will be in race control in terms of the race here, whether they will opt for a full race start. I can actually see in here right now that they are just discussing and checking whether this will be a full restart. It was probably right on the borderline as we were 2 minutes 22 on the clock at the time. We will, of course, bring you details as soon as we know it related to the incident there at chicane 1. But unfortunately, we are going to have another pause in proceedings here at the circuit, just whilst we wait for a moment here in the midst of our IAME M1 Final here at Fulbeck. On the Alpha Live broadcast here for the IAME M1 Trophy Final. Just to confirm a few things, as ever with these red flag situations, we don't want to speculate. We're gonna, we always just take a pause so that we can bring you confirmed information. We've seen, this is for an incident down at chicane 1, and we've seen the driver already up out of the kart and interacting with the marshals. So I think they're a bit shaken up, but they are fundamentally okay. I can see now actually out the window that the driver is just talking with the officials, and their supporter is with them as well. As you know, parents, guardian, supporters are allowed out on circuit for these younger, for the C50 Bambino and the IAME M1 classes, and the driver's already out and interacting with them, and seems fundamentally okay. So we're going to have a full race restart with the original grid order. That's been confirmed as well by the lovely people in timing here with us, but it is going to be with 6 minutes on the clock instead of the original 9. That's how that one's going to work. So I think we're just waiting for the recovery of the kart. The driver's back in the kart is what I'm hearing. Okay, we're not waiting for the recovery of the kart. We're waiting for the kart to join the back of the grid. I am not going to call the driver just yet. Yes, we're fairly confident we know, but I'm not going to call it yet. We'll let you know just as soon as we've got the details. But it is the case that the driver is okay and is back at the wheel of the kart and is now driving the kart down the back straight. And that is the best way possible for us to confirm it. And it is indeed as we suspected, but didn't want to call out of speculation. It is the number 19, making it Teddy Smith. There we go. There he is. And yeah, applause at the circuit here for the driver getting back in the kart, which is always good to hear. So Teddy Smith is back at the wheel, and I think will rejoin the race after all is said and done. No, he will recover to the pits. Okay, I did wonder if the kart would be okay. But yeah, the 19 there was the driver involved. I'd like to throw shade on the cone that prevented us from seeing the number on the circuit CCTV there. Because once we'd established the driver was okay, and there is the 42 that's had issues as well. Don't think that's related to the same incident there. I'm being told they've changed the spark plug, and there is Ava Garrett, who is the driver of the number 42, running with her kart, and hoping, I think, to rejoin this one. So that's good news there for Ava Garrett fans. So yeah, red flag for an incident at chicane number 1 involving Teddy Smith. We've seen Teddy, he's fine. He's got back in his kart and he's driven his kart back into the pit lane. The plan is now to go for a full race restart with the original grid order, minus anyone who's unable to take that start. I'm not sure if Teddy's going to be able to with the damage to his kart, unfortunately. But minus anyone else, it's going to be the original grid order here, which we're immediately ready to do because they're all on the grid. There we go. Complete with Ava Garrett, with spark plug replaced. So I'm hearing, away we go then. Bodie Batch leads the way for 6 minutes plus a lap of racing. Immediately Ralph Martin slotting into second place. Good start from Leo Harang to get the better of Freddie Baker off the start. If you can retain that all the way down to the hairpin. As they head towards, as it'll be treated like a first lap here, to be clear. You'll note they'll miss out that first chicane. Once again, Patrick Wood making moves off of turn 2. He's got back past Freddie Baker in a move reminiscent of what we saw at the start of the race. Can Freddie Baker fight back in that bright high-vis yellow livery? Yes, he can. And he's through. Is the driver of the number 92 back up to 4th place. Still with Leo Harang ahead of him, though, in 3rd. There is Bodie Batch, though. What a restart he just had. Ralph Martin is in 2nd, but Batch there had a brilliant, brilliant run. And in some ways, is this not a little bit of a lifeline for Ralph Martin, because he had problems. Now under pressure from the 57 of Leo Harang. This is for second place. They're side by side through the boot section. They're still side by side. Will this give an opportunity for Freddie Baker? They're both holding each other up. Harang is ahead now of Ralph Martin, but Freddie Baker is on the scene and through on Ralph Martin as well. Freddie Baker up to third place, and he's going to fancy his chances against Harang now into turn number 2 as well. Side by side at the apex. It's going to be super close on the exit, but Harang just about holds on to it as Patrick Wood goes side by side with Ralph Martin on the exit of that as well as they head towards chicane number 2, but they all slot into position and play happily as they come into chicane 2. And I'm not sure it's going to stay the same order for long. Freddie Baker having a look. He's going to try and swoop up the inside. He was thinking about it, but in turn, he actually got held up, and that's allowed Ralph Martin through instead. Ralph Martin through on Freddie Baker. And that's now up into... But no, Freddie Baker's come back, or trying to come back, but he can't quite make it. So it's going to be Bodie Batch, Leo Harang, then it's Ralph Martin, then it's Freddie Baker, is the order that they finish at the end of what is lap number 2 officially in the book. There we go, as they come through chicane 1 for the first time of this instance of the race. And in all of that, in case you were wondering, Bodie Batch has pulled out a healthy lead of 2.9 seconds at the head of the field here, as everyone else was sorting out their differences on that first lap. That is a massive, massive gift in many ways of a gap to Bodie. I'd say he can control it from there. As Freddie Baker looks to the inside of Leo Harang, he goes for it. What's the drive off the corner like? It's pretty good, and I would have thought that Freddie Baker would just sweep across, assume the normal line. Indeed he does, and the 92 is past the 57 and up into second place. Patrick Wood there in the 36 ahead of Ralph Martin. Ethan Holm now starting to put pressure. In fact, Ethan Holm there has got by, and there's Harang again on Freddie Baker into chicane 1. This is a brilliant battle going on ahead at the front. Fastest lap of the race from Bodie Batch, but in a way, the fact that he's so far up the field means that these drivers are throwing caution to the wind. They're just going for it with the battling, and Leo Harang is back up into second place. So close all together in amongst this top 10. Ralph Martin nipping at the heels of Patrick Wood there. Here's Martin in the 32. Will he dive to the inside? Freddie Baker will dive to the inside, and Ralph Martin will dive to the inside. It's Baker on Harang. It's Martin on Wood. Baker comes out top against Harang, but actually Patrick Wood managed to hold on there and almost looked like he was going to challenge Leo Harang over third there. This is brilliant stuff at the moment between IAME M1s. There's 2 minutes left on the clock. All the supporters, all the parents and supporters who are able to stand at the side of the track there, giving various instruction and encouragement to their drivers. And Patrick Wood has got by on Leo Harang there into the chicane. And Harang's going to fight back against Wood. Harang in the 57, Wood in the 36, but it holds them both up. And is that going to allow Ralph Martin to get by? He's got by on Patrick Wood. The 32 now challenging the 57. Martin trying to get back past, and he is back past into chicane number 2 against Leo Harang. It's changing every corner here. Now Ethan Holm in the number 11 fancies his chances against the 36 of Patrick Wood. And don't count out Ollie West, but there's contact there at the apex of the turn 6 involving Harang and Patrick Wood. And that's gutting for both of them because they were running so strongly. And they're going to have to wait until the field has passed by before they can be recovered. And indeed, I think they may be sandwiched together, in fact, and need assistance to part them from the marshals. And your heart goes out to both of them because it was such good battling, and I'm sure it will remain as such between these drivers, but it will unfortunately no longer include Leo Harang and Patrick Wood. There they are going again, but you can see the disappointment for them. Back with Ethan Holm challenging Jensen James Williams, who's come to the fore in all of that ruckus that was happening there. So we're looking at Ollie West in the 24, who's now in 4th place. Jensen James Williams in the 45 in 5th, and Ethan Holm in the 11. And Oliver Woodall is coming into this one as well in the 41 there. Still plenty of action to enjoy here for us. Bodie Batch leading this one still on the penultimate lap now. He's just started it. He's 5.4 seconds to the good over Freddie Baker. Freddie Baker in turn 1.6 seconds ahead of Ralph Martin, who you just saw at the bottom of the shot. And then we get this battle, which is Ollie West and then Ethan Holm. And that was Jensen James Williams passed by Ethan Holm. And now Oliver Woodall is fancying his chances against Williams down the inside of turn 2, and he's got the move done. So it's now Holm, Woodall and Williams, where it was once Williams, Holm and Woodall. And there is a counter-attack. Williams tries to get back past Woodall, but he manages to hold him off in chicane 2. There is your lead, your battle for second, it was Freddie Baker and Ralph Martin. There's Ollie West. Then it's Ethan Holm. So there is your second place of Freddie Baker. Bodie Batch, just for reference, just past the start-finish line. And Freddie Baker is starting the finish line now. The last lap board out for your race leader, and here it is. Or here he is, I should say. Apologies. Bodie Batch on his last tour of the circuit. Just getting by an Archie Ashworth there. He's controlled this one superbly. Had a brilliant restart. And that can be tricky, right? When you have to do another grid start, psychologically, that can be challenging. When you have disruption to a race that you were already, focusing on controlling. But he has done brilliantly off of the restart. And Bodie Batch just has to bring this one home around the last few sectors. Similarly, Freddie Baker and Ralph Martin are fairly far apart. To be honest, the first position that's maybe going to be under contention in this last lap will be fourth place between the likes of Ollie West, Ethan Holm and Oliver Woodall. This is Freddie Baker rounding the last sector. Coming across the line now, or coming to come across the line, is Bodie Batch, who wins round 8 from IAME M1 in the 2024 Rally Replay SuperOne Series. Freddie Baker finishes second, Ralph Martin in third, Ollie West in fourth, Ethan Holm in fifth, Oliver Woodall in sixth, ahead of Jensen James Williams. Freddie Dye we expect to come through. There he is for 8th place. And change on the last lap there between Presley Knight and Noah Myberg for 9th and 10th respectively. So battles going on even at the last there. But a brilliant result for Bodie Batch. Also finishes a clean sweep for today then, with the 2 heat wins and the win in the final. A disrupted final, but happy to say that Teddy Smith, the driver of the number 19, whose incident and the concern about was the cause of that red flag, we saw recovering his kart, piloting his own kart back to the pits. So great to see that he is okay. But off the back of a really good restart, Bodie Batch was able to control that one nicely. That was IAME M1 then. It will next be the trophy final in Rotax 177. Getting ready then here. Apologies for the slight pause there, folks. Just getting my voice back ahead of what promises to be an exciting final here for Rotax 177. Let's take a look at your grid then as they're getting ready on the dummy grid for this one. Rhys Llewellyn starts this one from pole position. Ian Bramfield alongside Luke Oliver and Shane Collins are on row number 2. Stephen Horner and Nathan Chafer your winner of this equivalent race yesterday in round 7, lining up on row number 3. Tim Darlow and Zach Bolton are next. Ben Johnson and Mark Gillibrand round out the top 10. It's Andy Ward and Scott Smith on row number 6, and Will Milner will round out the 13-cart grid as they come out onto what must feel like a different Fulbeck from what they left, because there were severely greasy conditions, you may recall. I say greasy conditions, it was probably the heaviest rain that we saw today, actually. It was during their race earlier on, although there was some strong competition for that, let's not forget, in amongst those Heat 2 races. The Nathan Chafer, as I say, was your winner in the final here yesterday. He also took the win in heat number 1. The only other heat winner yesterday around this Fulbeck kart circuit was Shane Collins within the class. And just as a reminder, your heat winners already were Nathan Chafer in heat number 1, and Ian Branfield was classified as the winner in heat 2, although I don't think that's how it was across the line, so I think some penalties came into play in the final result of that one. Here we go then for the final in Rotax 177. Rhys Llewellyn leads them away, hurtling towards the first corner at hairpin. Good start from the pole side of the grid. I think Luke Oliver has been able to slot into second place. In fact, I can see that he's been able to slot into second place and indeed challenge Rhys Llewellyn now, or apply the pressure through the first chicane, or the second chicane, but the first chicane they've encountered. I'll have got used to that by the end of the day, honest, as they stream through turn 6 for the first time. You can see the early pressure being brought to bear here on Llewellyn by Luke Oliver and Shane Collins as well in third place as they come round to finish lap number 1. Rhys Llewellyn leads, but Luke Oliver pulls alongside, really having a look there into chicane number 1. Shane Collins in third place, and then Stephen Horner in fourth. Can Luke Oliver get the good drive off the corner? Not enough to challenge yet, but this is nose-to-tail stuff between the top 3 of Llewellyn, Oliver and Collins as they come through chicane 2. Through turn 6 they come. It's really starting to bunch up though in the upper part of this field. Nobody has had any cause to drop away here really, and if anything it's closer than they were at the end of lap number 1 as they all bed themselves in to running in this train of karts in our Rotax 177 field. Llewellyn is absorbing the pressure like a sponge at the moment at the head of the field, but there is a dive from Luke Oliver into turn 2, and that was nicely done. Has Llewellyn got the opportunity to fight back on exit? He's got good drive off the corner, but he won't have the inside line, and Luke Oliver stamps home the authority to take the position, take the lead into chicane 2. That was a beautifully late dive from Luke Oliver, and now Collins fancies his chances with a late dive into 6 on Llewellyn, and that will surely allow the likes of Stephen Horner to challenge him as well. Yes, it does. The 66 of Horner now through as well. I thought as much after Llewellyn was seriously compromised on the exit of 6. So Llewellyn down to 4th now. Luke Oliver leads, Collins in 2nd, Horner in 3rd. But crucially, Rhys Llewellyn able to now gather himself up again and challenge him. Behind him, Nathan Chafer goes to the inside of Tim Darlow with a move reminiscent of what we saw from Luke Oliver a lap ago. Another late dive to the inside at turn 2. And the winner of round 7 in the number 37 is through and immediately challenges Rhys Llewellyn and is through at turn 5. Lovely move there. And also Llewellyn's under attack now from Scott Smith. But it doesn't pay off, and actually it's Scott Smith who's compromised, and that's going to allow the 38 of Zach Bolton was compromised, and that's going to allow Scott Smith through. Apologies there. They'd already swapped positions earlier on in the lap. Luke Oliver leads then, Shane Collins in 2nd ahead of Stephen Horner. Then it's Chafer, Llewellyn, Scott Smith, Tim Darlow and Zach Bolton to round out the top 8. I won't go any further because it'll be out of date by the time I've finished it. It's fastest lap of the race from Shane Collins, trying to apply pressure to our race leader. Nathan Chafer now fancies his chances of getting by on Stephen Horner. Rhys Llewellyn trying to gather a bit more momentum back up again after, you'd forgive him for feeling a little bit punch drunk after the last few laps. There have been a lot of moves, but it is the nature when there's not a lot of field spread. You get one move that takes you, compromises your line or upsets your rhythm, and you can lose multiple places. So he's done well to gather it back up, and we'll see what he can do in the rest of this race from 5th place as he currently is. There's Luke Oliver, your race leader. Shane Collins right with him. And then a bit of a gap now back to Stephen Horner and Nathan Chafer. Chafer with the fastest lap of the race, and if he feels he's got the pace to get on up to the back of these two, he might want to go for a move soon, and he has done at turn 6. And that was a nice move from Nathan Chafer, and he will have felt that he had to do that in order to give himself the opportunity to be in contention with the top 2, because he would have seen them moving away. This is not to take away from the pace of Stephen Horner, but Chafer felt that he was best placed strategically by making that pass and making that pass now. We know that this is a local track for him, and he certainly knows how to execute a pass further back. That is a move there from Ian Bramfield on Zach Bolton. Hard on the brakes into turn 2 as he was, and really nice move there. That was over 7th place. Now you can see that Chafer is setting about trying to shrink this gap that he has to the top 2. Collins is having a little look in various places. In other words, Oliver and Collins are not working together to the point where I think Chafer won't be allowed the opportunity to catch up to them. So I think it really could become a 3-horse race for the lead here. And indeed, Oliver feels the need to go defensive. Fastest lap of the race from Chafer. This is all going to come together quite nicely. Late apex from Collins, though. He'll have good drive down the straight, but he'll have to seize the opportunity on the outside. He's got it. He had the overspeed. That was a beautiful move from Shane Collins to take the lead. And now with that battling, Nathan Chafer is on the scene. The winner from round 7, who knows this circuit so well, is now here to fight with the likes of Collins and Oliver. But a nice move from Shane Collins. He'll be hoping that the battle between Oliver and Chafer is frenetic, such that he can pull a bit of a gap. That would strategically be the best thing for him. This is the closest battle on track. I'll say that. There's quite a close battle still going on between Rhys Llewellyn and Scott Smith. That's a good battle as the leaders come through chicane 2 on this 9th lap of the race. Oh, and there's the move from Nathan Chafer, and it's a bold one. I wondered if he'd have enough in hand over it, and he's gone for it, but they're side by side, but he'll be able to seize the inside. That is a beautiful move from Nathan Chafer from a long way back into 6th, disrupted the line of Luke Oliver, and then was able to seize the advantage on the inside that was the left turn into that boot section. Lovely move, and he's done it with enough time left to have a go here at Shane Collins. I said that Collins would be hoping that any battle between these two would hold them up. Shane Collins is going to have to push now to hold off this attack from behind, because we know how competitive Nathan Chafer is around this Fulbeck circuit. He's been showing it all weekend long. Some drama has befallen Stephen Horner's race, by the way. Last lap he dropped down to 10th place. So several drivers benefiting from that. Will Milner getting by on Tim Darlow in that as well. Will Milner's an interesting factor in the latter part of this race, I have to say. He had issues in the conditions earlier on. I think he had to retire from Heat 2 if memory serves correctly. So was he sort of on balance out of position on the grid for this one relative to his pace? We're looking at Rhys Llewellyn, who's got Scott Smith and Ian Bramfield for company. This is over 4th place. The gap now down to under a second for the lead, I should say. Here it is. Here's your top 3. You got top 3 battling, and then you got the next 3 battling over 4th, 5th and 6th as well. And we're going to have 2 more laps There is Bramfield, and he's got by on Scott Smith. That's a change of position for 5th place. Didn't see where that happened. I think it would have happened up at turn 6 based on when we last checked in with them. Gap is coming down though. Another 0.3 of a second taken out of this lead gap last lap by Nathan Chafer. This could be a bit of a grandstand finish here. All over the back of Collins at this, well, I say all over, he's fully caught up now. I think that's Shane Collins trying to appeal to say, let's work together to pull out a bit of the gap. But I'll be honest with you, Nathan's been getting by people so cleanly so far this race. I'm not sure he's going to fancy waiting around here. Last lap board is out then. Who's going to take the win in this final? Shane Collins has worked his way to the front of the field beautifully, but so too has Nathan Chafer, going defensive into turn 2. And that's nicely positioned by Shane Collins. It's good drive off the corner though for Nathan Chafer, but I don't think he'll have enough in hand to sweep through at the chicane. No, he doesn't. This is the part of the lap though where he's been so bold on the move. Shane Collins is going to have to go defensive here. Surely he has to hold the inside into 6. He does indeed. Chafer will try and get the late apex and the overspeed. Shane Collins trying to drive the widest kart in Lincolnshire right now as they come into the final part of the final lap. Can he hang on? It's been a brilliant challenge from Chafer and he's still going for it. But it is going to be Shane Collins who takes the win. Dragged to the line for second, and Luke Oliver gets it by 73 thousandths of a second at the last there. Shane Collins with the win for round 8 of Rally Replay SuperOne for Rotax 177. Luke Oliver finishes in second, just ahead of Nathan Chafer. Rhys Llewellyn in 4th, ahead of Ian Bramfield in 5th. Scott Smith, Zach Bolton, Will Milner, Tim Darlow and Stephen Horner round out your top 10. Then it was Ben Johnson in 11th, Mark Gillibrand in 12th, and 13th for Andy Ward. Are you not entertained, folks? That was fantastic there. I really thought Chafer might have had a chance there into the last corner. He had to give it a go, but it went the way of Shane Collins in the end. We've still got we've still got more racing action for you here to enjoy. Do hope you are enjoying it. We've got 3 more races on the schedule still to go, folks, here. And coming up next will be the trophy final in the largest field we've got this weekend. It's the trophy final for Junior Max. Let's take you through the grid then for the trophy final for round 8 in Junior Max. It's going to be Mr. Riley Bishop who starts this one on pole position. Emily Cotty alongside. Ben Horner on row 2 with Jasmine Taylor alongside for company. Then it's Harris Roberts and Owen Keenan on row 3. Row 4 is where we'll find Archie Flint and Albert Wilton. Harvey Quick and Callum Ghosh round out your top 10. Rory Hinckley and Jack Dimbleby are row number 6. James Kell and Harley Sadiq make up row 7. And Harry Hurstgrover and Tom Holden are on row 8. Noah Sales and Max Greatrex are your 9th row of the grid. The top 20 is rounded out on row 10 by Kieran Denyer and Max Rowley. And then it's Archie Doherty and Ben Brock on row 11. Lucas Reeves and Oliver Lomax make up the 12th row of the grid. Lewis Holt and Molly Pugh are row 13. Sam Flynn and Archie Dyson are on row 14, with row 15 occupied by Theo Gartside and Toby Dukes. Then it's Freddie Snelling and Karthik Kameta on row 16. Alex McCulloch on row 17 with Arthur Frey alongside. And I'm really hoping for the best for Alex McCulloch. He has had quite the challenging day. Red flag incident where the medical team had to go out to him in Heat 1. And then retirement before the race even got going in Heat 2. Here's hoping for a good final for him. And he will be an interesting factor coming from the back here. He's not in the correct grid position on performance, if that makes sense. Or he's, let's say that a different way, he's out of position relative to his actual pace and performance, if you like. Let's remind you of what has happened earlier on today. We saw Ben Horner take the win in Heat 1 of Junior Max earlier on, and Emily Cotty take the win in Heat 2 in the changeable conditions. From a championship perspective, Emily Cotti came into today as the championship leader, and that was an improvement that she made yesterday, because I'm pretty sure she came into this championship came into this weekend second in the championship. So she is having a very good weekend, possibly a crucial weekend in her 2024 campaign. Riley Bishop, though, scoring consistently throughout the weekend as well, hence why he lines up on pole position in spite of the fact that he hasn't taken a race win so far today. Largest field then that we have for our trophy final, 34 karts, once again in dramatically different weather conditions to what they experienced earlier on. It'll be 9 minutes plus a lap. And then we'll find out who will take the win for round 8 and the crucial 60 points. Riley Bishop is the number 35. Emily Cotti alongside in the number 7. Here we go then, folks, away for the trophy final for round 8 in Junior Max. And we've got contact early on, and drivers off to drivers left. There's loads of karts involved. Half the field is involved there, and that will surely bring, well, yellow flags are covering it at the moment as the rest of the field stream through. We're going to have to check on time. There's so many karts involved, we'll have to check it through on timing. I'm looking to see whether that does get called as a false start. It's not necessarily a given. And we are going to see a full course yellow put in place here. As those drivers get recovered. And no, that decision is being changed as I speak. It's being changed to a... being called here at the circuit, and the drivers being told to line up single file here on the grid, and that is as the medical cars go out. Obviously that was a significant incident just then with multiple karts involved. So attention being brought immediately to the scene there down at the first chicane. And unfortunately, yet another pause to proceedings for a red flag. So, medical team out at chicane number 1. And as the multiple drivers involved in that one, all drivers getting out of their kart for now, down on the grid as well. And the concern, as I understand it, is that the incident did result in a car going off to drivers left, and one of the drivers was thrown from the kart, which is, of course, by the way, that is the intention with karting. It is important to say. Why do karts not have seatbelts? It's so that in these situations, the driver is thrown clean of the kart, rather than having a kart accompany them and say land on top. So that is the intention, but obviously a cause for concern when we see an incident of that nature. So we're just going to have a pause here at the circuit whilst the medical team and the marshals are down with the drivers there at chicane 1 and sorting out that incident. We will obviously let you know as soon as we have details on this one. Just to be clear, red flag here called on the first lap of this Junior Max final. I would imagine that when we're eventually ready to get going again, that would result in a full race restart. But obviously that is not the primary concern at the moment. The primary concern is the well-being of the drivers involved in the incident there that involved at least 8 carts down at the first chicane there. So we're just going to have a pause here at the circuit. And in the meantime, we will loop back just until obviously we will let you know as soon as we've got details off the back of that incident. We're just going to go back to some of the interviews that we conducted yesterday for round 7. Okay, we're back here on the podium then for round 7 of the Rally Replay SuperOne Series here at Fulbeck, and we've got our winner in IAME M1 today, Ralph Martin. Ralph, congratulations, your first win since round 2, if I remember correctly. How does it feel to have taken another finals win?
Well, I did through the championship. I haven't had that good because it's either the engine or the chain that came off, and since round 2 I haven't had good luck, and it's just backfired.
Okay, and how did that final race go? Obviously well, but tell us a bit about how the race went.
Well, on the final lap, we were going through, so we were going through a bend, and there was 2 drivers in the track side by side, and I went past, and Freddie, who was second, he had to go around the outside of one, then down the inside of one, to get the move done, and that just gave me the space to win.
Lovely stuff, well done. And the heats, how did the earlier races go for you today?
It wasn't the best in qualifying because someone got a toe off me, and I got third because I had my own air. And heat 1, the front 2 got away, and I was in my own air. And finally, heat 2, I got into, I couldn't see the lights, and then everyone got past me, and then the rain started to come, and everyone went wide, and I just got down the inside.
Okay, yeah, changeable conditions, of course, that we've had as well. What's your favourite circuit, Ralph?
Probably Shennington.
Okay, nice choice, being as we're going there later in the year. And is there anyone you'd like to thank off the back of today's success?
My dad, RCE, my coach, and my mechanic.
Lovely stuff. All right, thanks for talking to us, Ralph, and have a good day's racing tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, then we're back here on the podium with another one of our class winners here today at Fulbeck for round 7. We're here with Ryan White, who took the win in Honda GX200 Cadet. Talk us through your day, Ryan. Congratulations. How do you come to be standing here? Talk us through your heats and, of course, that final.
Yeah, well, to be honest, today's not been the best for us. The first heat, I went off into the barrier. In the second heat, very rainy. I made a few mistakes, which cost me potentially first or second. Came third. And then in the final, well, I just drove my best. I got to the front. I held my position at the front. And then on the last lap, Ricky McIntosh tried to do a move on me. I kept her on the outside, and then chaos broke out on that corner. Obviously, I got away and then won the race.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Always competitive with Honda Cadets, isn't it? And yeah, what's your favourite track, Ryan? Talk us through that.
My favourite track's probably PFI. It's definitely PFI.
Okay, and but let's turn it back to this one. What makes a good lap around Fulbeck?
Around Fulbeck, I wouldn't actually know. I haven't been here in a year. This is my first time here in a year, so I wouldn't know.
Brilliant stuff. So great and competitive straight out of the box. Bodes well for tomorrow. Quick fire question. What's your favourite food?
Pizza.
Good answer. My answer as well. And is there anyone you'd like to thank off the back of today's win?
I would like to thank Project One Race Group, Piers, and my dad, and the rest of the family that's supporting me.
Brilliant stuff. Thanks for talking to us, Ryan. Well done, and all the best for tomorrow. And well done on putting up with one of my quick-fire questions randomly there. Well done. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Another one of our class winners here then on the podium, top step of the podium for round 7 today. Our winner in junior max, Tom Holden. Congratulations. Talk us through the day. Changeable conditions seem to be a theme, certainly.
Yeah, so in qualifying, we managed to get second, only a few hundredths away from pole, and then throughout the 2 heats, we managed to get both wins, I'm pretty sure, through penalties, but second on tracks, and then starting pole in the final, I managed to just maintain my position.
Brilliant stuff. And yeah, it's Fulbeck, a track you've run much before and had much success at.
Yeah, we've had some success here before. We didn't do too badly last year, starting from the back, and we won in a Cadet here a few years ago.
Brilliant stuff. And the season, tell us how we go. We're up at the end of round 7. How's the year been going for you?
It was going really well, and then obviously we got disqualified at Rowra, and we dropped a few points and a few places in the championship, but a few good rounds, I think we'll be back where we were.
Brilliant stuff. Anyone you want to give a shout out to, say thanks to off the back of today's win?
My mum, my dad for mechanic, and my sponsors.
Brilliant stuff. Cheers for talking to us, Tom. All the best for tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're down here on the podium then for round 7 of the Rally Replay SuperOne Series. We're here with our winner today in Bambino C50, Will Wainwright. Well done. How does it feel to have taken the win here today?
Good. I love that. Yeah.
Good stuff. And tell us about what was the story of your day? Tell us about your heat races. What happened in those?
They were sort of good, yeah. Some of them had to start from pit lane. Yeah.
Did I hear your dad right telling me you started from the pit lane and then worked your way up to a top 10 there?
Yeah. Top 10, yeah.
Really good progress there. Really good progress there. What's your favourite track, Will?
Wilton Mill.
Nice. Good choice. Good choice. Particularly being as we're going there next after this race meeting. So that's great. And is there anyone you'd like to thank off the back of today's win?
Tim Larego for my engines, and my dad.
I think that's a good choice. That's brilliant. Well done, Will, on the victory, and all the best for tomorrow, and thank you for talking to us.
Thank you.
Back to live now, folks, after getting some of the thoughts from our class winners yesterday from round 7. Let's bring you up to speed of what's happened here at the circuit. Obviously, we had an incident that led to a red flag immediately off the start there in our trophy final for our junior Rotax class. There were several karts involved. The 4 karts that were left stricken and stationary and in need of some attention down at down at the first chicane, ironically enough, insofar as we don't actually take the first chicane on that first lap, but there was contact made as they were coming up to speed at the green flag. So the 20 of Lewis Holt, the 43 of Harris Roberts, the 81 of Theo Gartside, the 33 of Max Rowley, in no particular order I say those names, were the karts that were at the side. There was concern for one of the drivers who was a bit shaken up off the back of that, but I'd just like to report that the medical team have returned to their posts and all of the drivers are okay off the back of that incident, albeit a bit shaken up. The main concern really, or the main concern thereafter, has turned to whether any of the karts involved can resume the start, whether they can, whether they're allowed to repair the karts and resume the start. I should say, by the way, those names that I just mentioned, albeit they were the karts that were left stricken after the incident, they were A, far from the only karts involved in the incident, and B, those names that I mentioned are in no way, being attributed with blame for that incident. The procedure now is that we're going to go for a full race restart. As I say, the only question will be whether those damaged karts, and I am, as ever, we're thankful that it is just a question of damaged karts and that the drivers are okay. There's just a little bit of discussion and organisation going on here at the grid just as they sort themselves out, as they get ready to see if they can take the restart. So we're just waiting for the grid to form up here. Let's remind you of what this grid will look like off the restart. Riley Bishop will take this one from pole. Emily Cotty will be alongside. This is just as a reminder before we do this race restart. Ben Horner and Jasmine Taylor, there they are getting ready in the background for this one. Ben Horner and Jasmine Taylor will be row 2. Harris Roberts and Owen Keenan will be row 3. Row 4 will be Archie Flint and Albert Wilton. Harvey Quick and Callum Ghosh will round out the top 10. Rory Hinkley and Jack Dimbleby on row 6. Row 7 is where we will find James Kell and Hani Sadiq. Harry Hurstgrover and Tom Holden on row 8. Noah Sells and Max Graytrix on row 9. The top 20 will be rounded out by Kieran Denyer and Max Rowley. Archie Doherty and Ben Brock on row 11. Lucas Reeves and Oliver Lomax are on row 12. Lewis Holt and Molly Pugh make up row 13. Sam Flynn and Archie Dyson row 14. The top 30 rounded out on row 15 by Theo Gartside and Toby Dukes. And then it will be Freddie Snelling and Karthik Kameta on row 16. Alex McCulloch and Arthur Frey on row 17, rounding out the 34-car grid. So that is how they will start this one, or restart this one. The question will be, how many of those do we have? And you can see they're just organising themselves on the grid right now. You'll understand everyone was kind of out of order, the order that they started. We had karts stricken at the first chicane. Obviously, the medical team were quick to scramble after the scenes that we saw down there, but I want to reiterate again that all of the drivers are okay off of that incident. But the drivers were told to line up in single file on the start-finish straight to allow the full access of the medical teams to that incident. I will say as well, there was a separate incident that happened into chicane 2, which I'm not sure which driver that was. That kart has been recovered as well. So as you can imagine, everyone was largely out of race order, and they'd actually come to a stop slightly beyond the start-finish line. So everyone's had to sort of wheel their karts back and get themselves into grid order. And there's just a little bit of discussion and clarification being done now as to where everybody needs to start, and also who is in the running to start. As I say, several karts damaged in that incident. What I can say is I can see out of my window, and you'll be able to see at the front of your shot, Riley Bishop is in position on pole. Emily Cotty is alongside him. Row 2 is formed up fully as well. Ben Horner and Jasmine Taylor, they're in position. And then of the third row, Harris Roberts is currently missing. Not too surprising, as that's one of the 4 karts I mentioned a moment ago, who was one of those karts left stricken at the chicane after that incident. So unsure whether Harris Roberts will be able to resume running in this race. Owen Keenan is in position. Then it is Archie Flint and Albert Wilton. They're both in position as well. Bear with me, folks. It's like I'm watching a tennis match here, flicking between my grid and what I can see out of the window. Harvey Quick and Callum Ghosh are there on row 5 as well, as we get going again on a roll-up lap. So of the top 10, the only kart that isn't out on track is the 43 of Harris Roberts. And just as a reminder of the other karts that reported to me as stationary down at the chicane and needing some recovery, Lewis Holt in the number 20. He was due to start 25th. The number 33 of Max Rowley was down there, the number 43 of Harris Roberts, and the number 81 of Theo Gartside. Those are the ones that I was confirmed as down at that chicane. So we'll be looking to see if they retake the start. I would be surprised if they did, given the nature of the incident, but obviously it will be on a case-by-case basis. So we will have to see as they come through. Let's reset though. That was a frenetic incident, perhaps initially quite concerning. Everyone is okay though. We are going to go again for this one. Full grid restart. Riley Bishop is your pole sitter. Emily Cotty is alongside, and away we go. We've got a stricken cart already, and it's Jasmine Taylor in the 84 has come to a stop immediately before they even get going. Riley Bishop leads them down towards turn 2. I think the anti-pole side of the grid may have been compromised by the fact that Taylor was slow off of that last corner, and that could be huge in terms of the championship, because Jasmine Taylor, of course, is a significant factor in this championship. Riley Bishop still leads as they stream through chicane 2. I'm delighted to say it was all clean, otherwise it seemed, although we've got a yellow flag, have we? We've got I think Jasmine Taylor might have parked up just after chicane 1 and is over the fence and out of the race, and that's so frustrating, obviously. And there is her cart. She was involved. She was off the road as part of that original incident that we saw. But she was able to sort of resume on the track. Ironically, precisely where she was off track before, I'm afraid, is where she's had to park up. That is highly disappointing for Jasmine Taylor. There are 30 karts left running in this race. We had 34 on the original grid, so I'm going to conclude that 3 of them have not been able to take the restart. Harris Roberts is circulating in that 43 kart, so apologies if I cast doubt on that, but he wasn't in position on the grid when I was looking out of the window. So he has retaken the start here. I'm going to quickly eyeball as well, just to finish this as a piece of housekeeping. The 81 is not there on my running order, so I imagine that is a retirement, unfortunately, for Theo Gartside. I just eyeballing this right now, cannot see the 20, and I can't see I can see the 33 of Max Rally, though. He is circulating. Riley Bishop leads then in the early phases. He's done me a favour there and kept the lead the same, so I can at least focus on a little bit of housekeeping there. Ben Horner, though, has got past Emily Cotty in the early phases of this one in the number 12 there. The 12 now ahead of the 7, but Cotty has in no way significantly dropped off the back. In fact, she's all over the tail of Ben Horner as they come round to complete lap number 3. Albert Wilton has just got by on James Kell. That's over 7th place. Fastest lap of the race from Tom Holden. Now, he's an interesting factor here. He's obviously our round winner from yesterday, down in 14th place, but we know he has good pace, and it's sunny conditions where he was doing well yesterday in similar conditions. So it could be interesting to see whether he can move forwards in this race. There is a move from James Kell on Albert Wilton, and he's through there. Sorry, not on Albert Wilton. That's on Harvey Quick now from James Kell. So he's had a really good lap there. Archie Flint as well has got through. So I wonder if Wilton... yeah, there it is. So Albert Wilton and James Kell have got by on Harvey Quick this time. So it's Wilton in 6th, Kell in 7th, Harvey Quick in 8th, and 9th for Archie Flint. Riley Bishop still leads. Ben Horner, Emily Cotty right with him as well. There is the 27 of Harvey Quick we just saw, who's still challenging James Kell, looking to get his position back. Here we are with our leaders. Riley Bishop leading Ben Horner and Emily Cotty through. Owen Keenan in 4th place as well, just set the fastest lap of the race, so he fancies his chances buying into this. Apologies, I've just given a refresh on my timing and Harris Roberts has now disappeared from my timing. I'm not sure what happened with the system there. I'm going to stand by my original statement now and say Harris Roberts is not circulating, and that would give me the 30 karts that I think are still left in this race. So apologies for the double confusion there. I'm just going off of what I've got in front of me, folks. Your top 4 then is Riley Bishop, Ben Horner, Emily Cotty, and now Owen Keenan right with them, and Albert Wilton is not too far off the back of this party either. Lewis Holt now showing at the back of this field. That's the number 20 cart. That was one of the other carts that we thought was involved in that incident. So I think only Max Rally has survived us. That's a big move from Wilton there on Owen Keenan, and that sent Owen Keenan far off to driver's left there on the exit of turn 2. That was a costly moment there for Keenan. Wilton is through, but that was a big dive to the inside as Emily Cotty's looking to the inside of Ben Horner, and she's through. That was a tidy move there, and the lead is off. Riley Bishop is squirreling around on the curb, and Emily Cotty is through, and there's contact there again. That was with the 96 of Albert Wilton, who we saw diving down the inside of Owen Keenan. That's contact between Bishop and Wilton. It's all change here. Emily Cotty in the lead, Ben Horner in second. James Kell now comes to the fore in third place. There's a few controversies, I think, brewing here. Contact warnings being shown. We've had contact warnings for Callum Ghosh, for Ben Horner, and for Toby Jukes. This is frenetic stuff. We are seeing good battles out there, but we're also seeing some bits of contact, which we'd rather not be. Cotty your leader though, and then here is second place, Ben Horner and James Kell. Then there's a gap back, some 2.2 seconds to Callum Ghosh in the number 3 cart. There you can see in the red cart, just in the back shot there. Archie Flint is with him, Owen Keenan is in 6th. Then it's Harvey Quick, Tom Holden, who is slowly rising up the field here. Riley Bishop, after that contact, down to 9th place, and Rory Hinckley rounds out the top 10. Max Rally's got past Albert Wilton for 14th place. Wilton, of course, now on a recovery drive of his own after the contact with Riley Bishop. Archie Flint here under attack, and that's Owen Keenan going through on him there. Owen Keenan is through. Is he in the 29? Yes, he is. As Harvey Quick, I think, nearly did a repeat of Riley Bishop's incident there in the background over the curbs on the exit of turn 6. These drivers are pushing hard here. Fastest lap of the race from Callum Ghosh. Emily Cotty leads. I will remind you that Cotty has not had a finals win yet this year. She's going to have to work hard for this one. Ben Horner, who did have a finals win back in GYG in round 1. Not round 1, sorry, it was round 2. It was the second day of that race meeting. So he has had one finals victory. Having a look to the inside now. He looked to the outside, he looks to the inside, but he's not got the advantage under braking to execute a move. Cotty feels the need to go defensive into turn 2. Is it defensive enough? It is for now. Ben Horner can't find the space on the inside. Fastest lap of the race from Owen Keenan. Callum Ghosh and Owen Keenan are pushing like crazy because they can see the opportunity up the road here. And indeed, Callum Ghosh is pretty much with them now to turn it into a 4-car battle. Cotty defends into turn 6. Ben Horner in the 12 behind her. James Kell is the 31 in third place. Callum Ghosh now on the scene. Owen Keenan pushing because he can see the opportunity. On to the final lap. Who's going to take this win? Emily Cotty looking over her shoulder to see if there's a threat. It's going to be a dive from a long way back if he's going to do it, and Ben Horner can't do it. Emily Cotty survived the first opportunity for someone to upset the win. Into chicane 2 she comes. She's going to have to defend hard, surely, into turn 6. That's the biggest opportunity for Ben Horner. The door is left open. Is he close enough? He's trying to prise that door open, but he can't quite make it stick. Emily Cotty comes into the final sector of the lap, round the toe of the boot. It's going to take something special for her to be overturned now, and Emily Cotty will come through to take the win for round 8 of the Rally Replay SuperOne Series in Junior Max for 2024. She wins ahead of Ben Horner, James Kell in third, fourth for Callum Ghosh, Owen Keenan in 5th place ahead of Archie Flint, Harvey Quick in 7th, Riley Bishop in 8th, 9th for Tom Holden, and 10th place. I'll finish there for Rory Hinckley. The Entire field separated by 16 seconds there, folks. They will cross the line in really very little field spread. Obviously, we've had some drivers drop out of that one, not least Jasmine Taylor, who mathematically came into this weekend at least as the leader at that point in the championship. But a big result there. She's had a really good weekend, has Emily Cotty, and she's finished it off with the big win there in the trophy final. Right then, we've still got more racing action to come here on your Alpha Live broadcast of round out the Rally Replay SuperOne Series here from Fulbeck Kart Circuit. There's 2 more races left on the itinerary, and it's going to be Intermax coming up for you next. Getting ready on the dummy grid then is the final for Intermax, as I said. Let's take a look at the grid, how they line up. And interestingly enough, it's not there on the graphic, but I'll tell you that it's a tie for points between our top 2 on the grid here. Jensen Sale and Noah Moulton have both accrued 67 points across the heats. The pole position being decided by the fastest lap time across those races, which was a 47.245 for those keeping note for Jensen Sale there. Some 1.5 tenths faster than Noah's fastest time. Oscar Roach, shorthand answer, it's close between our top 2 coming into this one. Oscar Roach and JJ Plowman are row 2, with row 3 occupied by Stanley Stafford and Jack Holmes. Jensen Walker and Amrit Singh Atwell are row 4. Layla Bell and Jackson Hilton round out your top 10. Charlie Hobbs and Jay Birmingham are your 6th row of the grid. Luca Matikekia and William Collinson are on row 7, and then it's Alexander Adams due to start in 15th place. Obviously there was an incident for him earlier on. We'll double check that he actually comes onto the track for this one. It would be brilliant to see him again after it was quite a concerning incident earlier on, but he was given the all clear from the medical team. So if he's feeling up for it, he may join us on track for this one. Lewis Hall rounds out the 16 kart grid for the penultimate race of the day of the race meeting and weekend here at Fulbeck. And if you're trying to piece together the continuity based on the weather, good luck to you, because you just wouldn't believe that it's the same day as we were seeing a couple of hours ago here. Let's remind you of what we've seen so far here today. Heat 1 was a win for Jensen Sale ahead of Noah Moulton. And Oscar Roach rounded out the podium of that first heat, and then Heat 2, of course, was a reversal of the top 2 places, hence why they are tied on points for this one. Noah Moulton won Heat 2 with Jensen Sale in seconds, and it was Jack Holmes in 3rd for that. Coming out onto the track then are 16 drivers. I say 16 drivers. It's not 16 drivers. We are a few drivers down. Unsurprised in some ways to see that the 24 is not out there. As I say, the 24 was Alexander Adams, and we did see quite a serious incident for him earlier on. So, given the all clear by the medical team, that's what we've been informed up here in comms. But do wish Alexander all the best coming back from that one. I'm unsurprised to see him not take the start, but hopefully we will see him back in action soon. Here we go then. Jensen Sale on pole, Oscar Roach alongside. Away we go then for 9 minutes plus a lap of racing in this trophy final. Jensen Sale leads them away. It's a good start. It's a good start too, it looks to me, from Oscar Roach, but that's sweeping round the outside there, or trying to, was Roach, but Jensen Sale has been able to retain that one as they come through into chicane 2 for the first time. Yeah, I thought Oscar Roach was going to go all the way then, but had to hold back for now. Looks like it's been a decent start for Stanley Stafford as well, up to 3rd place there in the number 43. Yeah, I've got to question actually. We were only down to 13 carts, so there's a few others missing as well here. But Jensen Sale leads. Apologies, it's 14 carts. Jensen Sale leads, Oscar Roach in 2nd, Stanley Stafford in 3rd, Noah Moulton in 4th, and 5th for Jensen Walker at the end of lap number 1. Through chicane 2 they go. Sale trying to pull out a little bit of a gap here just to get some breathing space at the head of this field so that he can control it for the rest of the race, will be his game plan at least. Noah Moulton putting the pressure here on Stanley Stafford for 3rd place. A reminder, by the way, that Stanley Stafford, as you can see on the time tower right now, having a slightly chilled out transponder that takes a little while to refresh. So just take with a pinch of salt if you see him dropping down the order. There is Layla Bell and Luca Matikekia challenging. Jensen Walker here in the 21. JJ Plowman in the number 5 cart. Out of turn 6 they come into 7. Oh, and that's a stationary cart of Jay Birmingham in the number 41. That's on the exit of hairpin 2, so yellow flags will cover that part of the lap from chicane 1 onwards until they've passed that incident. To be precise, until they pass the green flag right about there after the incident. There you can see Jay Birmingham just walking off to one side. Unfortunately, will take no further part in the racing. Stanley Stafford under pressure here as going side by side. That was Oscar Roach. Stanley Stafford by on Oscar Roach here. He's got through up into 2nd place, and Noah Moulton was trying to capitalise on it as well. But that was a move for Stanley Stafford on Oscar Roach for 2nd place. The significant change there. Lap number 5 then. Jensen Sale leads by just under a second from Stanley Stafford. Now confirmed in 2nd place. Further down the order, Jack Holmes has got by an Amrit Singh Atwal. That was for 7th place. And Matikekia did get by on Layla Bell as well. This time it's Noah Moulton who fires a move up the inside of Oscar Roach. As Roach got a response, he's tucked underneath, but it's going to be hard to fight this one back, and it is Noah Moulton who gets through into turn number 7. Jensen Walker and JJ Plowman right with Roach now. And then a little bit more of a gap you can see to the likes of Jack Holmes in 7th place, and Amrit Singh Atwal as well is right with him. There's a look from Oscar Roach to counter-attack against Noah Moulton. He's not done yet. They're side-by-side coming down the back straight. This is over 3rd place. He'll have the inside line, and that's a nice response there from Oscar Roach. So important sometimes in sprint racing to come back fighting. Defends into turn 6 because he doesn't want Moulton to come straight back at him. And he will basically be in the same position that Moulton was a lap ago and hang on. But he's wide there through 7. And is that going to give Moulton an opportunity? He'll hold the inside line through this, but he'll be compromised all the way down the pit straight. And is Noah Moulton is surely going to have a bit of a look. No, that's good coverage there by Oscar Roach. Needs to keep it the right side of weaving, of course, but position his cart very nicely there to deter a move from Noah Moulton. This is a nice little battle, isn't it? But what it has allowed is for Stanley Stafford to focus solely on getting on up the road. It has brought Jensen Walker and JJ Plowman into the fight, though. JJ Plowman has got by on Jensen Walker. Had a big moment over the curbs there, it seemed to me. Once again, Noah Moulton will try and tuck underneath. And he's got the job done this time. That was a poor exit for Oscar Roach there off of turn 6. And now the 54 is back past the 96 of Oscar Roach again. Jensen Sale sets the fastest lap of the race. His gap is 2.8 seconds from, 1.5 seconds from Stanley Stafford. Noah Moulton now up into third and will seek to stay there, having not retained that place successfully yet this race, because Oscar Roach has been very keen to fight back, and well, he might. We're in a trophy final, big points on offer here. JJ Plowman now up to 5th place on the tail of Oscar Roach here. That is William Collinson, by the way, who's down the order, unfortunately. On to a new lap then. And now Oscar Roach has another look back at Noah Moulton. This is a great battle between these two. They're clearly so evenly matched. And he's back through. Oscar Roach up into 3rd place. And the thing this time is that Noah Moulton has to be slightly careful about a counter-attack, because JJ Plowman is right with him. He's got to be careful. If he attacks and it's unsuccessful, but he will attack and it will be successful into turn 6. Again, we see them side by side on the exit, but again, surely Noah Moulton will seize the advantage there just about. It's a shaky moment as well for Oscar Roach, and through goes JJ Plowman, and that's what either of them had to be careful of. It was well executed from Noah Moulton, but this time Oscar Roach will not be coming back at Noah Moulton. He will be coming back at JJ Plowman, though, over the curb, and that's going to bring him round, and that's contact with the... I'm going to have to double check who that was contact with, actually. That all happened quite fast. It would have been around the... it would have been around Amrit Singh Atwell, but don't take that... or take that with a pinch of salt until we can confirm that on timing. But yeah, there was just it took too much of the curb there, did Oscar Roach, and was round, and then obviously he was facing the wrong way in a part of the circuit where the line is pretty nailed on, and we are going to go full course yellow here around the circuit. There is the Battenberg flag, which denotes full course yellow running in British karting, neutralising the race effectively. And we'll see if that is how this will be maintained until the end. It could be that race control are wanting to neutralise this because they've seen enough in terms of incidents out there. Just looking to see who else had a very slow lap that time around. Jack Holmes did have a slower lap, but it wasn't too bad. I'm struggling to see actually who actually got held up by Oscar there. I think they may have just actually been able to skirt around him. There was thankfully no heavy head-on collision there. Checkered flag being shown then. The race is going to be ended a touch early there. Jensen Sale, perhaps not in the manner which we would want to see it, but he's taken the win for round 8 in Intermax. Stanley Stafford in 2nd, Noah Moulton in 3rd, then it's JJ Plowman in 4th, Jack Holmes in 5th, Amrit Singh Atwell in 6th place, ahead of Luca Matikekia in 7th, 8th for Layla Bell, Charlie Hobbs in 9th, and Jackson Hilton rounds out your top 10. Well, not how we'd like to see it end, under a full course yellow, but Jensen Sale, you can't take the win away from him. He has been on it all weekend, took the trophy win yesterday, and he's done the double here, taking it for round 8 as well. There is just one race left on the schedule, and it's going to be the trophy final for Senior Max coming up next. we're getting ready then for the last race of the weekend. And just to be clear as well, we did see a kart off in chicane 1. It was hidden to us on the cameras there. I'm not sure if it was related to the fact that Oscar Roach was facing the wrong way, but we do have another pause here, I regret to report, just whilst one of the response cars has gone out to that driver. Not sure which number it is once again. Apologies, I appreciate it's frustrating, but obviously, well, for obvious reasons, we aren't going to jump to conclusions in these situations. So we are just waiting for that driver to be attended to. I can see out the window that they are interacting with the officials and the medical team who are on site. So the fundamental signs are good there. And we'll just be waiting for news on that before we send our senior Rotax grid out. It will be senior Rotax going out then. Let's remind you of the situation with regards to what's happened so far in senior Rotax. If I just get my screen up for that, there we go. Obviously, Zaki Hussein has had a very successful weekend, won the trophy final yesterday, and took the wins in Heat 1 and Heat 2. So I know we haven't run through the grid yet, but there's going to be no prizes for guessing who's on pole with this particular one. But he has had a storming weekend so far, it has to be acknowledged. In terms of the championship, Billy Edgecombe comes into today as your clubhouse leader effectively for this. George Sanders second and Lewis Wild third. So that's how they come in to this one. And as I say, we're just holding the senior max grid in the dummy grid just whilst this driver's being attended to. So we'll just wait for an update here on the circuit. Whilst we're doing that, I'll just give a shameless. I'm just being informed of exactly who that driver is. So the driver down at chicane 1, and I presume it must have been. It makes sense actually because the driver was in roughly the right part of the pack. It's Jensen Walker in the 21 who they're just checking over down at chicane 1. I assume it all happened very quickly, but I assume that it was involved with the contact with Oscar Roach when he spun round hitting that curb. And I'm also being told that he's out of the kart, so under his own steam, I stress he's not having to be recovered from that kart. So, and we've seen him interacting with the medical team. So, as I say, the fundamentals are good. I'm sure he's a little bit shaken up because it was close to a head-on collision. I said at the time, at least there wasn't a head-on collision. There was a collision. I think he managed to avoid it being a full-on head-on collision, but yeah, Jensen Walker just having the attention given to him there. You can see that the course car now recovering back to its holding position, and to be absolutely clear, we are seeing Jensen walking alongside his kart. He has not had to be recovered in that medical car. So positive news again. Too many red flags and full course yellows for our liking, but obviously with all understanding to race control as to why they've had to call those, making those important calls in those moments. But delighted to say as well that for all of the drivers who have been involved today, we have heard generally good things. Yes, we haven't seen all of them come back to the circuit, but we have had positive news in all instances of that. So never nice to see, but delighted to say that thankfully all of them have ended as well as they can in those situations. If you see my meaning. So another pause there. We're just waiting for everybody to be back at their post, all the medical teams to be ready, of course. We have to be, and there is, thank you very much on camera, that's great to see, Jensen Walker coming back to the pits. So as you can see, he is coming back under his own steam, which is fantastic to see. And thank you as well to the Alpha crew and those in timing as well who've kept me up to date on these incidents. That is another cart being recovered. That is from another incident. That was from hairpin. That was turn 2 down at the hairpin, and that is Jade Birmingham's cart. So that we know what happened there. We saw Jade Birmingham off to driver's left on the exit of hairpin early on in the race, and he's just stayed at the marshal post before that cart could get recovered at the end. So once we've got all the carts. All of the carts that don't need to be on the track, off the track, we will, of course, welcome our senior Rotax carts onto the grid for what will be the last race of the weekend. And I'm hearing that we are having a green flag for this last race of the weekend. Let's take you through the grid for our last race of the race meeting here at Fulbeck, and we've been treated to so much good racing. This one promises to be another treat, I'm sure. Zaki Hussain has been the driver to beat so far this weekend in this class. He starts on pole position. James Kacholek starts alongside him. Elliot Thomas and Jacob Dukes make up row number 2, with Reese Pope and Ollie Naylor on row 3. George Sanders and Billy Edgecombe are next, with Salvador Newman and Sky Fraser rounding out the top 10. Lewis Wild and Jake Riches are on row number 6. Row 7 is where we find Cameron Crockett and Max Davis. William Young and James Parrish are your 8th row of the grid, ahead of Alfie Barron Oxbury and Tom Nottingham. The top 20 are rounded out by Marcus King and Tom Taylor. Kira Harris and Zach Fletcher are on row 11. And Tom Sully rounds out a 23-cart grid for our senior Rotax final for round 8 of the 2024 Rally Replay SuperOne Series. Let's go racing one last time, folks. 9 minutes will be put on the clock, plus a lap. The sun is shining. We've got carts on track, and we're about to decide who takes home some silverware. Let's go for the race. Away we go, with Zaki Hussain leading them straight towards the hairpin for the first time. And it's a good start from James Kacholek, who I think has immediately slotted into second place there as they stream around the hairpin for the first time in this trophy final. Into the chicane they come. Elliot Thomas is down to 4th place, it looks to me, and I think that's because Jacob Dukes has got the better of him. Through turn 6, and contact there with one of the carts off. We'll double check on timing who that is. I think that might have been the 85, but let's double check that as they come round. Let's not speculate. Zaki Hussain leads, and it is the 85 of Ollie Naylor and the 21 of Billy Edgecombe, who have dropped to the back of the field. Edgecombe, as I said, comes into today as that championship leader. He's done that by being consistent with his results. This, unfortunately, is now a difficult job for him. He has to try and salvage what he can from this. Zaki Hussain leads, though. James Kacholek there in second place. And challenging him now for second place is Jacob Dukes down the inside at turn 6 and has got the move done. And that is the 79 off there of Salvador Newman. That's from quite high up. That's from 7th place. And he's off at the exit of turn 5. We've not seen many people go off there, but that is unfortunately where his cart is stricken at the moment. And he drops down the order now, I fear, on timing. There he is being recovered. You can see the frustration there. Not sure if there was contact or if that was an unforced error, but frustration either way. Here is Elliot Thomas chasing James Kacholek. Through the second chicane they come. We're looking at the drivers in 3rd and 4th place at the moment. Will Thomas feel like an opportunity is there to dive up the inside? Not this time around. Reese Pope and George Sanders staying with them as well. Salvador Newman is still circulating, just to report. He's resumed his running. Fastest lap of the race for Marcus King in his pursuit of Cameron Crockett in 9th place. As the leaders come through the hairpin, bit of a gap now opening up for Zaki Hussain. You get the impression that Jacob Dukes, James Kocholek, Elliot Thomas, the likes thereof, need to think about working together here. And I said Billy Edgecombe was on a recovery drive, and he knows it. Fastest lap of the race to try and bring himself back onto by. He's already got by, but he got by James Parrish last lap. He's now trying to chase down Alfie Baron Oxbury for 15th place. The lead group come out of the final corner though to finish lap number 4. Contact warning being shown for Elliot Thomas. We won't want to accrue any more of that attention as the new fastest lap is set by Reese Pope. Although I have to say all drivers are improving pretty much. There's only 5 drivers who didn't improve their personal best on that last lap, so they're bedding themselves in nicely to the race pace here. There's your leader, Zaki Hussein. Then it's Jacob Dukes, James Kocholek, Elliot Thomas, George Sanders and Reese Pope, all nice and close together in amongst this top 6. Lewis Wild is next. As I say, you get the impression that Jacob Dukes, well, everyone behind Hussein in this train gets the idea that they just have to perhaps have a stalemate for now to try and keep Hussein within touching distance. Fastest lap of the race from James Kocholek. He's doing his bit to push up onto the leader. Change for position last lap. Marcus King getting by Cameron Crockett for 9th place. Through turn 6 come the leaders. This is what we like to see. Plenty of drivers in contention and pushing hard here to stay in contention. That cart ahead of them, that is the recovering Salvador Newman in the 79 cart. After we saw him have that off at turn 5, another fastest lap of the race from Marcus King. Now trying to chase down Jake Riches. I'm relieved to see so far running well here in 8th place after he's had a bit of a dramatic day, had some retirements. So good to see him running strongly so far. 4 minutes plus a lap left on the clock then. He gets the impression that this is okay, this is just simmering away nicely. It's being left to come to the boil in the end game. There's Salvador Newman doing the responsible thing there, doing the gallant thing, perhaps one might say, and allowing his competitors through, not looking to hold anybody up. In fact, he's parked it, in fact, to let everybody through. Real dead. Oh, and that's a moment there over the grass. That is a moment, and was that Reese Pope who was doing that? Yes, it was. It's the 38 bouncing over the grass on corner exit. Well, his spider will thank him for that in the morning. That was a bit of a heart-in-the-mouth moment there for Reese Pope, and it's brought him back into the clutches of Lewis Wild and Jake Riches and Marcus King. Here's Lewis Wild now on the tail of him. Into the last 3 minutes of the clock then. Spreading out a little bit amongst this top 5. If anything, it's getting closer now in this top 4, with Reese Pope recovering from that moment in this part of the lap a lap ago. Lewis Wild, Jake Riches and Marcus King right with him here. This is 6th down through to 9th. Cameron Crockett is then a further 1.3 seconds down and actually has very close attentions on the fringes of the top 10 from Max Davis and William Young. So keep an eye on that one as well. Leaders come on to a new lap. And so does this battle. Here is the lead pack. There's Zaki Hussein still holding on to this one comfortably, but not running away with this one, it has to be said. Still within half a second is Jacob Dukes. They are pushing hard here to keep the prospects of a win alive. But Zaki has been driving really well so far this weekend. He's going to take something special to overhaul him. We will see if anyone's up to that task. Here's Reese Pope in 6th place, trying to bridge a gap to Lewis Wild as the leaders begin a new lap. And the gap is coming down, you know. Jacob Dukes just took another 1/10 of a second out of the gap, and it's only 3.5 tenths. So there's, you know, a 1/10 is a significant proportion of that gap. Into chicane 2. Through turn 5 into turn 6, and you've got to say, visibly, Jacob Dukes is doing this. He's reeling in Hussein to make something of this lead battle. And if there's even a moment of one of them being compromised by way of battling, you know that James Kocholek, Elliot Thomas and George Sanders will be right with them to capitalise on it. I think we'll just about get in. We might just about get in 3 more laps. It's going to be quite tight when they come across the line next time as to whether they're shown the last lap board or not. It's either 2 more or 3 more. Marcus King still with the fastest lap of the race and still applying pressure to the likes of Lewis Wild and Reese Pope. This is a contact warning for Salvador Newman. It's going to be close, but they won't see the last lap board this time around, so still 2 laps to go. And if you're Jacob Dukes, if you're James Kocholek, you need to be thinking now about what your end game is here, what opportunities are there. Billy Edgecombe with the fastest lap, still on a bit of a recovery. I have to say, Cameron Crockett has, I said he was under pressure from the likes of Max Davis and William Young. He has been passed by them, and Tom Nottingham as well. So good battles going on, as I say, in the fringes of the top 10 and early teens. You do have to keep the focus, though, here at the front, because pressure is being brought to bear here on Zaki Hussein. He's going to have to fight hard to retain this one. They'll see the last lap board this time around. The last lap of the race for this class, for any class, and for anything in Super 1 this weekend. The last racing lap. Who's going to take the win here? Zaki Hussein begins the lap as the leader. He's got 2.5 tenths of a second to the good. We've got a stationary cart there, and that is the 79 of Salvador Newman, again stationary there, and that is going to give us yellow flags through this sector of the lap. Is it green before turn 6 where the optimum overtake position would be? I don't think it is, you know. I think the green is on the exit of it. Zaki Hussein under serious pressure here, and Jacob Dukes will try any which way he can, but it's going to be difficult, I think, to overhaul. Is he going to have a look in the last corner? Can't quite do it. Zaki Hussein will take the win, take the double here this weekend at Fulbeck. Jacob Dukes finishes in 2nd place. James Kocholek in 3rd. Elliot Thomas in 4th. George Sanders in 5th. 6th for Reese Pope. 7th for Lewis Wild. 8th for Marcus King. 9th for Jake Riches. Max Davies rounds out your top 10. Tom Nottingham in 11th, William Young in 12th, 13th for Cameron Crockett, Billy Edgecombe, great pace, but 14th in the end. Ollie Naylor in 15th, 16th for Sky Fraser, Alfie Barrett Oxbury in 17th, Salvador Newman we saw having issues, and James Parrish as well having issues out there, I think having to retire early on. Fastest lap of the race, by the way, did go with Cameron Crockett just at the end there in his pursuit of William Young. Well done to Zaki Hussein then, takes the win there for Senior Rotax, and that concludes a fantastic weekend's racing here at Fulbeck Kart Circuit in Rally Replay Super 1. As ever, I've just got a few thank yous to see us over the line here because there's so much effort that goes on both in front of the camera and behind it, and with nothing to do with the camera to make all of this possible. So first off, I'm going to kick off, as I often do, by just saying a massive thanks to all the medical team and circuit staff and marshals, without whom we really could not go racing. And regrettably, we've seen them in action a fair bit today, but that's exactly why they are there. So always important to express our gratitude and thanks for them for that. To everyone as well at Super 1, to Amelia Hoyle and the team, all the people in race control, all the people in timing, who organise the championship, put it on, and make sure it's able to run on the day. Massive thank you to them, and as ever, it's been an extremely friendly paddock to work in, so thank you once again. If you thanks as well to all of the circuit staff here at Fulbeck as well, always making us feel welcome as well. As ever, it's been a pleasure to come here. Doing a slight bit of shameless self-promotion. My name's Howard Mitchell. I'm from Double Dash Motorsport Media. If you like what you've heard from a commentary perspective, check us out, double-mm.com, or on the various forms of social media. See what I get up to, see what my partner in crime, Mr. Andrew Mather, gets up to. There's plenty of stuff there. Check us out. And bringing you the streamed action here as well. Thank you to Alpha Live, who've been working. Come rain, and there has been plenty of rain, or shine, and there's been plenty of shine. It's been a changeable weekend for all of the Alpha crew. My thanks to Chris Rice, who was here since yesterday doing all the setup work and has been doing the production stuff. To Stuart Rice. Sorry, to Stuart Rice. Brain fade coming in. Sorry, Stu. Chris Rice is a completely unrelated colleague of mine from another life. To Stuart Rice, who's been doing all the production, and I'm now going red in the face. And thank you, Stu, for all of that. To Luke Woodford, who has been also on hand today, calling some of the shots and doing the runner duties. And to our camera crew, to Daryl, Sam, and Shane. I'm not going to live that one down now with Stu. Sorry, mate. But we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you to the Alpha crew. Like, share, and subscribe the stream if you would be so kind. They really appreciate the support. And check out what they're up to as well. Alpha Live YouTube channel as well if you want to relive any of the action that we've broadcast so far from Rally Replay SuperOne in 2024. Right then, that just about wraps it up here. So from myself and everyone here at the circuit, and Stuart Rice, who's the producer for this this broadcast and who I've been working with for the entirety of the weekend. Maybe I need a bit of a lie down. Thank you very much for your support, everyone, and until next time, take care. Bye-bye.